You could just go straight to Lego if you want.
Well, I'm on the racing game for a bit. I'll play that for a bit.
Sure. Okay.
The whole country knew Joe.
Project Fat Roll. Because I just think WWE it's falling flat, man. It really is. Doug Diggs has found you through FNT. Thanks for the Cobra Cast, bro. Hail to you and hail to Friday Night Tights. That's awesome, man. Thank you. I appreciate that. Eric K says, FMK game, Jeremy wants all three. I'll end this damn stream. You guys keep asking about that shit. But I do have a clip I want to show all of you guys and gals really quick. And pretty interesting. Because these clowns just will not stop. Okay? They will not stop. Listen to this clown right here, Jamie Raskin, talking about the Boulder, Colorado situation, and this idiot tries to bring gun control into it. Listen to what he says.
Across the country, we are still in the midst of a gun violence epidemic. So we need to be acting with due concern for human life.
Are you gonna troll?
On Siege? Yeah.
Oh shit, you're not playing Siege.
No. I'm gonna play the racing game first. I'll play that after. I'm probably not gonna play this for too much longer because it's not cool enough in here.
I mean, this is why, of course, we have been fighting for a universal violent criminal background check. We are for a ban on military-style assault weapons in the country. You know, our lax gun laws are a danger to everybody.
Say that again?
You hear about that guy throwing Molotov cocktails?
Yeah, the Muhammad or whatever, Ahmed, whatever his name is.
Yeah, his visa was expired, I think.
Yeah. I think his work visa, yeah, and he didn't get deported.
Damn.
But the judges and the Democrats don't want him to be deported, so I guess whose fault is it?
In America, and that's something that we can act with some legislative determination to turn around. But people have got to lead their lives, and people need to act with courage, but it is the responsibility of government to try to keep everybody safe.
Listen, now this fucking idiot, okay? So this idiot says that. Let me let you listen right here, okay? Listen to this.
Mr. Solomon stated that he had been planning this attack for a year.
Honestly, if I was a leader and an illegal committed a terrorist attack, I would just have any crime committed by an illegal is automatic death penalty.
What if it was just jaywalking, dog?
Well, that's not a crime. It might be a violation. It's not a crime. Like speeding, speeding isn't a crime. It's a traffic violation.
Oh
yeah. But hey, if you're an illegal, speeding might as well be a crime. If you're an illegal, you shouldn't have the right for speeding to only be a violation.
What
'Cause-
about public masturbation, dog?
Oh, well, especially if it's around children, yeah. But if you think of it, right? Our law should pertain to us. And if you're violating something that doesn't... If you're violating a protection that doesn't pertain to you, you shouldn't be given the same privileges. But hey.
And he acted because he hated what he called the Zionist group. But what the charges allege that he did was to throw Molotov cocktails at a group of men and women, some of them in their late 80s, burning them as they peacefully walked on a Sunday.
Wait, did he kill anyone or he just injured people?
I don't know.
Yo, 211 negative. Let's go.
Yeah, dude. What's your positive?
138.
Yeah, that's. You're pretty well dug in there.
Yeah, unless it resets, there's no way I'm turning that around.
Proceed to bomb location and defuse it.
Well,
Well, the game doesn't want me to, so it doesn't matter.
To draw attention to Israeli hostages.
One friendly operator remaining.
And it's defense next round, so I can see.
And when he was
force.
interviewed about the attack, he said he wanted them all to die. He had no regrets.
You know, I've got a few kills with whatever's like Flores, but killing someone with his drone, killing a team with his drone is actually harder than I thought. And you do it, you do it many times a game.
Op 4 eliminated.
I know. I don't know. I guess I can tell like when they'll be susceptible.
Let's get it.
This guy just yelled out, "Let's get it!" About to
Yeah, I
fucking
heard that.
get trolled. Maybe I'll kill him.
Yeah, what was his name?
Keith XN.
Shouldn't be too hard. He's playing Tachanka.
But he's an Emerald, so he's better than most people. But let's
Be
see.
ready to engage Op 4.
Calibrating. All set.
Nice.
Time for some home.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds and counting.
Changing mag.
Bomb located by Op 4.
Reload.
Time.
What is good, brother? No, chill.
Absolutely fucking baited, bro. Let's go, dude.
Wow, you like this?
Got a double kill? Let's go.
And he would go
You saw
back
that, right?
and do it again.
Yep.
He said that he had previously tried to purchase a firearm.
It's funny because the guy that saw me trolling earlier started teabagging as well. I got it. Let's go. Well, these guys suck.
Whoa. What's that now? What's that? He said that he previously tried to purchase a firearm. Now, Raskin wants you to believe that this is all about gun violence.
One Op 4
He's getting on
remaining.
his anti-gun soapbox because of this.
Is a firearm, but resorted to the Molotov cocktails when he could not purchase a gun because he was not a legal citizen.
Oh, wow. So the illegal immigrant wanted to purchase a gun, but couldn't purchase a gun because he was not a legal citizen. It's almost like illegal immigration is the problem, not guns. But of course, this is what...
Yo,
the
LeBron, you're so
Democrats do
fucking good, bro.
every time. The Democrats love to take a tragedy, spin and twist and manipulate that tragedy, and stand on the graves
Dog,
or
I get
the
another
hospital
chance.
beds of the people that were injured or killed in the tragedy, so
You
that
don't
they
get
can make
reverse
up
friendly
a fake
fire?
narrative, so they can push.
No, I think I have like 10
We had the
games left.
C4.
Yeah, I think I have 10 games left, and it doesn't reset if you kill them with explosives. I don't know why.
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
Yeah, they're probably gonna fucking fix that soon.
I don't know.
ready to
I don't know if
eliminate
enough people do it. I don't know if enough people troll like we did to where they should know.
Trying to
Down
shoot.
to 10 seconds. Down to 5 seconds. Op 4 has located a bomb. Get ready to engage.
Nice, dude. Shoot all the Goyos.
Calibrating.
Perfect.
Yeah, they killed you, dog.
Their nonsensical agenda. This is what they do every single time. And don't get it twisted. A lot of Republicans do the same thing. This is what the mainstream media does. But specifically, Democrats are absolutely horrendous about this. There are a lot of rhinos that do the same thing. But my goodness, man, they just know no bounds. These are the most disgusting, horrifically twisted people in the country. Democrats, leftists. It's sick and disgusting. But of course, who cares about facts and reality? And of course, Jamie Raskin is the same clown that I wish I had the clip of him saying that I think it was Raskin, if I'm not mistaken. I talked about this on earlier stream today, but basically he said that this is before the 2024 election, but he essentially said, we're not going to inaugurate Donald Trump. We're going to stop him from becoming the president of the United States. This is before the election even happened, and he was already setting that tone. Insane, dude. I think it was him, if I'm not mistaken. Somebody in the chat will let me know if I'm correct about that, but I do think it was him. Let's see. Commodore Fan says, I'm watching Raw on my second monitor, and tonight it's been boring AF. What the fuck on releasing R-Truth? I'm just glad I'm not paying the Netflix bill. Yeah, I mean, the R-Truth thing, that kind of symbolizes everything going wrong with current WWE. The fact that they want to get rid of R-Truth.
GG, you guys are amazing, man.
A fan favorite. I mean, R-Truth's not selling out arenas, but he's definitely a fan favorite. And with the right creative direction, you can utilize R-Truth. He's comedy gold. He's probably the funniest WWE wrestler of all time. And it was him? Okay, it was him. All right, thank you, chat. Thank you.
Good work.
So yeah, releasing R-Truth is mind-boggling. Miki's Fun Time says, shame I was left out of that FMK chat. Jesus, what are we doing? Nandy says, FMK All Black Edition. Kata, Ripa, Miki, what are we doing? The Under Armour Gamer says, why was Ripa an F? Huh? No. You don't understand the template. It's okay. Solo Felix says, sorry I missed your earlier streams live as they start at 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. Australian
goes
time.
up so
You see a
fast.
black woman was murdered in South Carolina by 6 illegals. No media coverage. No media coverage. I haven't heard about that particular story, but it wouldn't surprise me if there's no media coverage. Pirate of Las Vegas says, never forget that Jamie Raskin faked having cancer to cover up that he was getting a hair transplant. Oh, these people are idiots. We got a really good video from Jesse Waters titled, Joe was even worse than we thought. I hope this story never goes away. The Joe Biden situation is the single biggest political disaster of our lifetimes. This is the biggest political scandal of our lifetimes.
Yeah, I'm
and
not
to be
as
clear,
good
there's
at
been
it.
a lot of them that we've probably never even heard of, but this was the man that was
Not that hard.
supposedly the leader of the free world.
Well, I think I've got 1 or 2 kills with it, but a lot of the time they hear it when they're in their drone.
I don't think so.
Because maybe I just got unlucky and the 2 or 3 guys got off their drone.
But even when they're off drones and I've killed people, most of the time I'm able to get them.
And you know what's awesome about this? Here's the best part. This is, dude, if you don't like,
Bro, like
if
you
you
can
don't
do
love
it
Trump
like
enough
4
already,
times.
look at this right here.
Yeah, as many
President
drones as
Trump
you
is
have.
not even referring to the Biden administration anymore. He's referring to the Biden administration as the auto pin. The auto pin should have stopped Iran a long time ago from enriching under our political agreement.
Like an emerald.
We will not allow
Platinum?
any enrichment of
Diamond.
uranium. He's calling it the auto pin.
That's diamond.
Yeah,
Oh,
purple is
man.
diamond.
How can you not love this dude?
Pink is
Here we
champion, green is
Biden
emerald.
world's starting to crack, and the big
Platinum
guys
is
getting
like-
Oh, they
the
made-
whistle blown on them.
They
Secret
made
Service
fucking
agents
pink
coming out.
champion, dude.
Friendly drone deployed.
To me,
Op 4
my
is
favorite color
reinforcing
is
its location.
platinum. Which the shitty fucking game never gave me my charm.
I thought diamond was gonna
30 to
look
10
like
seconds.
Minecraft diamond.
No, that's platinum.
5 seconds before insertion. You've located a bomb. Make your way to its location.
I'm reloading. Flash out.
Dude, they're all grouped together.
I don't know, that's where I'm going.
I would say go closer to them before you.
Yeah, I know.
You trying to kill me? Well, we can plant.
Fuck, dude. Dude, look how long it takes to blow up. How the fuck do you get so many kills?
I don't know, dude. I get some talented at trolling, dude.
Brutus plant.
Recover the diffuser.
Out of the woodwork, saying behind the scenes, Joe was even worse than we thought.
Oh, I didn't know it was
Service
down here.
whistleblower actually was assigned to Biden, and he told me that Biden used to get lost in his closet.
I'm so
before the
stupid.
debate in the White House.
Friendly mission
I mean,
successful.
the guy literally stumbling around in the White House residence couldn't find his way out of his own closet. The president of the United States. I mean, this is outrageous.
The leader of the free world couldn't
Do
find
you
his
have
way out of the
any of
closet,
Dune books?
and no one noticed. Joe was locked inside while
No,
his
I
team
didn't
was
know
out
what
running the
Dune was
country.
until the first
The
movie came out.
speaker said when he went to the White House, Biden didn't even know what he'd signed off on.
Sir, why did you pause LNG exports to Europe? Like, I don't understand. You know, liquefied natural gas is in great demand by our allies. Why would you do that?
I don't
Because
want
you
to try
understand,
to read
we
it.
just talked about Ukraine. You understand you're fueling Vladimir Putin's war.
Apparently they get really weird later on. I told you about one, right?
I can't remember.
Where instead of fighting a war, they just have big like sex battles or some shit. I don't even know how that would
Friendly
logistically.
drone deployed. Op 4 is reinforcing its location.
I feel like the next one's gonna be lit. I hope it's like 3 hours or something.
Seconds to insertion.
Who's gonna be the main bad guy though?
5 seconds to go.
I don't know. Doesn't the main guy become a bad guy?
Proceed to bomb's location and
technically.
defuse it.
Well, like he's just gonna fight, like the Emperor's guys.
I think he's gonna fight everyone, isn't he? I think that's why they introduced so many factions, is because he's literally just gonna kill everyone.
I feel like at that point they should have just nuked the planet.
Hey, are you not watching, Nomad?
Nice, dude.
I think that was my problem the other time. Was it takes so long, and it's surprising how long it takes.
Machine, because they got to get their gas from him, you know. And he looks at me, stunned, with his, and he said, I didn't do that.
I think
said,
once they know
"Mr.
what you're up to,
President,
it gets 10 times harder. So.
You know, 3 weeks ago, he said, I didn't do that. And he's arguing.
Well, at
with
least
me.
we'll
He
have next
genuinely
round.
did not know what he had signed.
Biden didn't even know what the Biden foreign policy was. That's how bad it
Yeah,
was.
you have to.
Democrats all knew Joe's
You have to
brain
get it
was
right
fried.
the first time.
We all knew it. Do you guys remember this interview right here? Do you guys remember this? We all witnessed this. This man was gone.
Virtually every
One Op 4 remaining.
mass shooting, every circumstance where a large number of people have been victimized and lost, I spoke with them. I learned a long time ago that judo around the world.
Friendly, last operator standing.
When someone's going through something that is beyond their comprehension, they better talk to everyone. If they see someone who they think understands or maybe been through something not the same but similar, it gives them some sense of hope.
15 seconds.
And I always get criticized sometimes on my staff because when I go to these events, I stay
10
for 3
seconds.
to 4 hours and answer all their questions. But it
Drop the
matters.
diffuser. All friendlies have been eliminated.
We fucking lost.
Some of you have gone through a hell of a lot more than I've gone through, and a lot more than other people have gone through, and you understand. So it's just
I haven't understood one thing he said so
people
far.
are looking for just something to grab, something that gives them some sense of hope. And that's, if I can do a little bit of that, then it's
I don't know what he's saying. I have no idea. Zero. And the best part was Jason Miller is the one that retweeted this video from 2 years ago from the Trump administration and said clearly a clone. The Trump administration.
I feel like
is
we're gonna have another, not like we, like I mean like the U.S. or California is gonna have another forest fire, and like I feel like we barely fucking got out of the last one.
Yeah. Yeah, the last one was bad. Like people's houses were engulfed while they were still inside.
Be ready to engage on 4.
They didn't rebuild all that shit yet, right?
No, that's probably gonna take a while.
10 seconds to insertion. 5 seconds to insertion. Bomb located by Op 4.
I'll wait until Mozzie's on a drone. Hey man, that works for me, dude. I was just gonna kill him too. Perfect.
I have no idea what this man just talked about for like 2 minutes. I have no idea.
There's a senator. You didn't do that. I said, Mr. President, yes, you did. It was an executive order, like 3 weeks ago. I didn't do that. He's arguing. He genuinely did not know what he was signing.
Joe Biden didn't even know what the Biden foreign policy was. That's how bad it was. Democrats all knew Joe's brain was fried.
There's a senator, Senator Bennett from Colorado, who went to an event in June 2024 where Biden seemed non-functioning, and he left that event, and this is in the book, thinking this is why our border policy, our immigration policy is such a mess. This guy can't manage the portfolio. There are competing groups within the administration, and he's not engaged for whatever reason, and that's why this policy is such a mess.
Did Biden even know the border was wide open? If he didn't, then who opened it? That's what the hearings will find out.
Need to disable their
Bill Maher, he's wondering why Democrats even let Joe run.
If you really thought Trump was the existential threat he was, then, to your point earlier, why put up Biden? If it was really that important, I mean, Democrats will never be able to answer that question. If that election was really that important, you couldn't summon the courage to confront an old man that your time has passed?
Oh, that's a good question.
Democrats knew Joe was fried back in 2020, and they all backed.
Everybody knew this in 2020. This is the argument that I keep making. It's like, even before he took over the fake presidency that he claimed to have for 4 years, we knew he was gone then. I've shown the videos back then where we were seeing this man talking about nonsense, talking about absolute nonsense. He was completely gone then. But they knew that they were going to rig everything, so they didn't care. What they cared about was that the best thing we can do is we can run Barack Obama's vice president, and he's good old Joe Scrant, and he's gonna have a good old boy vibe, and the American people know the name Joe Biden, and they know that he took public transportation to work every day because he's one of the normal people out there. Because that was the whole narrative around Joe Biden Scrant, was that he took public transportation because he's one of the people. It's one of these ridiculous narratives that was surrounding him. So they knew that the American people would, well, not all, obviously, but enough would accept him on name value alone.
Backed him up. On the campaign trail, he was forgetting the names of aides he'd worked with for 40 years. Staffers were alarmed and would whisper how the big guy wasn't 100%. They thought it was a miracle that COVID happened and Joe went to the bunker. But Slick Willie swears for 4 years he didn't know a thing.
Did you ever have a moment with him where you thought maybe he was unfit to run?
I thought he was a good president.
Yes.
The only concern I thought we had to deal with was, could anybody do that job until they were 86? And we had several long talks.
Damn, dog, I get another round, dog. Let's go.
I'm thinking he can't do this anymore. He was always on top of his grief.
You never saw any cognitive decline.
So I didn't know anything about any of this, and I haven't read the book.
Man,
I saw
every time it
President
switches.
Biden not very long ago, and I thought he was in good shape.
We knew Bubba was in great shape when he was president. He never wandered into a closet alone. Clinton's still keeping up with the hoax. Chuck Todd says no.
Can we talk about the obvious here? Can we talk about it? How old is Bill Clinton right now? I don't even know. He's got to be close to 80, right? How old's Bill Clinton? So we're at 78. We're asking a former president who's been out of office for how many years now? 15, 20, whatever it's been, I don't know. Like, we're asking a former president from the 90s what the condition of the guy that just left office was.
Friendly drone deployed.
Like, are you fucking
Op 4
kidding me?
reinforcing its location.
Like, what are we doing? This is insane, dude. 25? So 25? Yeah. So, I mean, this is insanity.
Oh, no, not so fast.
There's almost an eagerness to blame the press without looking at actual who should be blamed here, and it's the leadership and, frankly, the members of the Biden administration and the leadership of the Democratic Party, who they're the ones that lied. Look, at the end of the day,
Oh my God,
no journalist is as good as their sources. At the end of the day, the Democratic Party lied to the American people. The leadership of the party lied to the American people. And that's where this scandal should be centered.
Todd says he needed sources to know Biden was cooked. No. He needed a TV.
You need eyes and common sense. That's all you needed. You didn't need anything else.
Nice, dude.
You know what you don't need is you don't need TDS, because if you have TDS, it won't allow you to see.
Wait, how did I get fucking insta-killed there? It didn't even hit me.
Again, I'm not the smartest guy
Bro,
in the world.
what?
I can figure this shit out, okay?
It's an embarrassing trolling, dude.
Murdoch
Yeah, that whole game was horrible.
Makes me want to buy another gun. If you're looking for, you know who can help you out with that one? Valiant Renegade, probably. Valiant Renegade. Hail Valiant Renegade. I don't know if he's watching, but hail Valiant Renegade. Thank you, John Murdoch. Valiant's probably watching, and he'll probably pop in here and talk about how great I am. And you know why Valiant does that? Because he knows the chat's going to roast him for complimenting me. But thank you, John. Hail to you, brother.
This is like the emperor with no clothes. Democrats all just pretended they didn't notice. The whole country knew Joe was exposed, and the Democrat Party's paying a price.
Which party is better described as the party with strong leaders? Look at this. Wow. 16% of Americans say Democrats, 40% say that of the Republican Party. Now, overall, no party's doing great. Lots of Americans say neither of these qualities apply to either party. But look at how much worse off the Democrats are. A party that gets things done. Only 19% of Americans say that about the Democrats. So among Democrats and Democratic leaners, 32% say Democrats are the party with strong leaders. I mean, of their own kind.
Joe was weak, and the only action the party took in 4 years was whacking him. Besides that, they got nothing done. Clinton's in denial, Barack's in hiding, and Nancy's got a broken hip. The only one still out there is Chuck, but he can't even get his talking points straight.
Not made it clear that we're in Zelensky's corner. I hope on Ukraine the president's not the taco president. Trump always loses the fight. Trump always cops out, is what TACO stands for.
I haven't heard that yet. I haven't heard that one yet. It's Trump always chickens out. That's the meme that you clowns have created. Oh my God. Trump always chickens out. That's the meme. I gotta listen to that again. I have not heard that.
But he can't even get his talking points straight.
Not made it clear that we're in Zelensky's corner. I hope on Ukraine the president's not the taco president. Trump always loses the fight. Trump always cops out, is what TACO stands for.
Schumer can't even get.
Hey, fuck you, Brocatron. Suck my fat fucking chode, bitch. Fuck you, Brocatron. Fucking eat my nuts, fag. Fucking queerbait. Suck my testicles, boy.
Democrats are yelling.
I love nothing more than a. It's not even the people like.
That guy was mad, dog.
He quoted.
Good, he can't even get a fucking kill.
Hey, Congressman. Trying to help you? What the is
Not doing whataboutism. But it is.
Policy has been a gift to day traders, not financial advice. Not financial advice at all. Not at all. We would never give you financial advice.
Make your way
never.
to its location.
You
have dropped the
Vlad
diffuser.
says, has anyone
The diffuser has
seen
been recovered.
my nipple? I have to be careful saying that for some reason. I don't know why I had to be careful saying that. Because I don't say bad words. Like, no, it's not me. It's not me at all. But check this out, okay? Jake Tapper's on it again, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. So, of course, every time the media has a story that they can twist negatively towards MAGA or right-wing people or anything like that, they pounce and pounce and pounce, and they twist, manipulate, and do everything they can.
For dinner.
Listen to how Jake Tapper approaches
Chicken and
this
like a
topic
nice
right
sauce kind of thing.
here. Jake Tapper is fucking disgusting.
With rice
No
sauce.
rice.
Months,
Oh,
Shapiro's
yeah, rice.
house.
Right,
The
yeah.
attack
I was about to
and
ask if you had
murders
rice or
outside the
not,
Jewish
but
Museum.
Pour
yeah,
It is
sauce
also
on
a
the rice to
problem on
make
the
the
right.
rice taste good.
I mean,
Oh, you gotta
have you ever
remind
just
guys
had
of the problem
a
on the
dinner where
right
it's
as
just
well. We
like no
remind you
rice, no
guys-
vegetables, just like ribs or chicken or whatever, just meat?
Like just meat, yeah. Like all the time in the summer or even the winter when at least when I have propane, I'll have 4 sausages and that's it.
Friendly drone deployed. Op 4 is reinforcing its location.
So I think I prefer that.
Seconds to insertion. 5 seconds to insertion. Proceed to bomb the location and defuse it.
Yeah, you gotta like lull them to a sense of like safety or whatever. Yeah, perfect.
Right as he got off the fucking camp, dude. That was perfect.
Dude, that was good.
I kind of want to go for these guys, but wait, I actually will. Dude,
Let's go for them.
Because
Yeah, go for them. Go
you
for them.
can't really. Ah, come on! Oh, dude, he didn't even get it.
Try hiding now! Loading new mag.
Usually what I do is I go to the top of the building. I feel like that guy's gonna get killed anyway, and then I just kill myself.
Lost contact with Ratero.
That's way off.
Op 4 last stop standing. Drop the diffuser.
Fucking knew he was there too. Wait, I only had 2 kills? I I got 3 kills. What the fuck?
Nice.
There's also a problem on the right.
In addition to the Tree of Life synagogue killing in Pittsburgh, which is obviously homicidal, there's been reporting recently that the Pentagon press secretary, Kingsley Wilson, has a history of social media posts pushing anti-Semitic tropes, extremist theories. NPR reports it has identified 3 Trump officials with close ties to anti-Semitic extremists like Nick Fuentes.
Yeah, what are anti-Semitic theories, dog?
So you,
I guess that they control everything.
Like,
I don't really know how that's anti-anything.
Friendly drone deployed. Op 4 is reinforcing its
Like if you
location.
say most or all Jews are rich. Like is that even incorrect? Like, I genuinely don't think that's incorrect. Have you ever met a fucking Jewish person that
10
isn't rich?
seconds to insertion.
I haven't.
5
The
seconds.
percentage of
I've met.
well, you've probably met a Jew, but
Proceed
you
to
just
bomb
can't
location
tell.
and defuse it.
Probably.
For me, it's way easier to tell. Like you can just tell by looking at them.
Nice, dude. Yeah, how can you tell?
Usually they're pale. The men are usually short and small.
He knew what you were up to.
See, I just played it off like it was for the door. Oh, is that lagging?
So short and pale.
Yeah, and they always have the hair.
The hair.
Yeah, like they're natural broccoli heads most of the time.
Oh yeah. Hey.
Friendly last operator standing. The diffuser is no longer in your possession.
With girls, I would say mostly the same. Like extremely like there are pale white people where they look white, but Jews look translucent.
Nice, dude.
One op
The
4
chicks, they usually have black hair, sometimes like a dark sandy color, sandy brown, mixed with black, or their lips are, they have nice lips a lot of the time. Or they just have like massive noses, like the Semitic nose.
15 seconds remaining. 10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. All friendlies have been eliminated.
Everyone report Brock.
He added me anyway.
Guy doesn't realize that reporting ain't gonna do shit for you.
You can bring Nick Fuentes in it, but you don't want to bring Hassan Piker into it. You see how the media operates? You see how they operate every single time. It's all about demonizing who they want to demonize. It's all about putting that out there in the internet sphere so that people that have no critical thinking whatsoever, they just hear a name and they instantly think, oh, that person's bad because CNN told me they were bad. I'm not going to do any research. I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to listen to what Fake Tapper tells me.
Legit, I wish I was.
And Fake Tapper knows this. They know that there are stupid, easily
You're sure what?
manipulated,
Mormon.
Why?
Oh, aren't they doing pretty good?
Probably.
Like everything we complain about, I think they don't have to deal with.
Op 4 has located a bomb. Get ready to engage.
Changing mag.
Pretty sure like they have like 5 wives too.
Yes, bro.
People.
Dude, it's funny because when you troll, you get people following you to like try to look at what you're doing, and you get them killed in the process.
Out there
Bro. It's
that
so
won't do any
fucking
research.
hilarious.
They just hear the name Nick Fuentes is bad, and they're just gonna think Nick Fuentes is bad. I don't have to do any research. Fake Tapper told me he's bad. No mention of Hassan Piker though.
The problem right now that we're seeing in terms of violence is on the left. And I want to make it clear, I'm not whataboutism. I'm not doing whataboutism. But it is really difficult to be a Jew in America and not see this as a bipartisan affliction.
I'll be back.
Yeah.
All friendlies were eliminated. Mission failure.
I am the darkness. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it.
Be ready to eliminate hostiles.
Get out of my way.
10 seconds left.
Changing mag.
5 seconds and counting. Bomb located by Op 4.
C4. Nitro.
Damn, dude.
Yeah, I want to be clear. I'm not doing the very thing that I'm actually doing. I just want to be clear that the thing that I just did, I want to be clear that I'm not doing that thing that I literally just did. Fake Tapper, CNN. Insane. I fucking
One friendly
hate
operator
these
remaining.
people. I hate the media. I hate the mainstream media, specifically leftist mainstream media. I'm not a fan of right-wing media either, but at least they're a little more tolerable. I was having a discussion with someone, and they were saying, like, do you like Fox News because you react to a lot of their stuff? I said, no, I fucking hate Fox News. But they have a few good personalities over there that make their content where I can take what they're reporting and I can give my own take on it, and I can give my perception or my perspective on it. You know, I think Jesse Waters is a pretty decent media personality. I like Greg Gutfeld. I like a couple of the personalities there, but Fox News in general, fuck Fox News. I mean, I think they're just as bad as CNN in a lot of ways. Look what they did to Tucker Carlson. So yeah, Fox News is terrible. Let's see. Jeremy Pride says, Happy Pride Month. I'm not even going to look at that profile picture. I have no idea what that is. Mod Eric says, I can't change the direction of the wind, but I can adjust my sails to always reach my destination. Jimmy Dean. Jake Tapper is a POS. He absolutely is. 1,000%. He's one of the worst people. You know who else is terrible? You know who else is terrible? I'm going to tell you who else is terrible. If I could find it.
That idiot doesn't know how to count.
Ooh, that's just weird. Hang on. Yeah, explain this before we go to the next story. Look at here.
Let's pick the dates, Donald. I hear you're free on Wednesday. Donald Trump lost 2 debates to me in 2020. Since then, he hadn't shown up for debates. Now he's acting like he wants to debate me again. Well, make my day, pal. I'll even do it twice. Let's pick the dates, Donald. I hear you're free on Wednesday.
That is wild. That is crazy. Now, again, if you are not aware of the big story right now on social media, President Trump put this on True Social, I think yesterday, and it says, there is no Joe Biden. Executed in 2020. Biden clones, doubles, and robotic engineered soulless, mindless entities are what you see. Democrats
invite him to lobby,
so
and then
with
1v1
that
him.
said, I'll play this one more time.
Let's pick the dates, Donald. I hear you're free on Wednesday.
Damn.
Trump lost 2 debates to me in 2020. Since then, he hadn't shown up for debates. Now he's acting like he wants to debate me again. Well, make my day, pal. I'll even do it twice. Let's pick the dates, Donald. I hear you're free on Wednesday. Let's pick the dates, Donald.
I just love the fact that, like, he's done this and he's triggered the left so much, and they've basically they've walked right into his trap once again. Trump is he's the best troll we've ever seen. He really, really is. And I showed this clip earlier, and I don't know how many of you saw it. Fucking hell, dude, it's so good. This is one of my favorite clips ever.
Now on the all-new Monday Countdown podcast, Trump posts that Joe Biden was cloned, executed, and turned into a robot in the year 2020. Contrary to what has been widely reported, no, this was not simply the repost from some other lunatic on Truth Social. He changed the original post. This is a Trump post claiming this about Joe Biden. Is he in fact crazy enough to believe that Joe Biden was cloned, executed, and turned to a robot, or is he just crazy enough to believe that somebody else will believe that? What's the goddamn difference? His mind has jumped the shark. Get out the men with the butterfly nets. He cannot remain president when he is this crazy. Meantime,
look at this shot, dude. This is... How did you think it was a good idea to dress like this with that camera angle? What is this camera angle? What is this camera angle? I don't understand this. This is so...
Ara, it's an app.
I don't know what. Now I'm good. The weirdo's Zoom call, right?
10 seconds to go.
And these are the people that are running the Disney company. And it's
5
insane.
seconds to go.
I'm not gonna, like, is this it? Let's see. I just want the Zoom call. I don't want someone else's video. Hell, fuck it. Here's Mark Dice's video talking about it. So,
Throwing flashbang.
right here. This right here.
Gone beyond woke. I can't fully explain what it is it's doing. Mentioning certain facts out loud these days is a very dangerous thing to do, but I'll show you what it's doing. You can see it for yourself, and you'll get the picture. Leaked footage of an executive meeting that they just had about the Florida Parental Rights Bill, or the Anti-Grooming Bill, or what the Marxists call the Don't Say Gay Bill, was just posted online by Christopher Rufo. He's the guy who's been putting a spotlight on critical race theory, which again is just a fancy term for anti-whiteism. And recently I had a nice chat with him about using the correct terminology, so hopefully he'll start doing that. But he obtained this footage of these Disney executives in their meeting where, and this is their terminology, they say that they're going full steam ahead with the, quote, gay agenda. Here's Disney's diversity and inclusion manager, Vivian Ware, explaining that the theme parks no longer refer to ladies or gentlemen or even boys or girls because of the gender non-binary children that may be in attendance.
Last summer, we removed all of the gendered greetings in relationship to our life skills. So we no longer say ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. We've provided training for all of our cast members in relationship to that. So now they know it's hello everyone or hello friends. We don't want to just assume because someone might be in our interpretation maybe presenting as female that they may not want to be called princess. So let's think differently about how do we really engage with our guests in a meaningful and inclusive way that makes the message presentable for everyone.
Dude, I swear it takes so long.
Coordinator Alan Martin explained that the company is dedicated to producing new cartoons for kids, which include gender non-conforming and bisexual characters.
Yeah, I've had the privilege of working with the Moon Girl team for the last 2 years.
Remember what I said about profiling people? Just want to clarify that it was not about a race. I
wonder if I could wait. I want to spawn with everyone and then shoot them with my explosives, and it should get the whole team if they're all close enough.
Friendly drone deployed. Op 4 is reinforcing its location. Seconds before insertion. 5 seconds to insertion. You found a bomb. Make your way to its location and defuse it.
My turn! Cover your ears. Filipinka! Don't shoot! Changing mags! Swapping mags!
Cluster charge deployed.
Fully support profiling people, and this is exactly what I'm talking about right here.
And they've been open to exploring queer stories, and so I put together like a tracker of our background characters to make sure that we have like the full breadth of expression.
Children, actually, one transgender child, and one.
The all World Live tonight. Right after this show, we are doing our first Monday night broadcast at 10 o'clock. Join us. I will have Brandon with me. We're going to talk about Joe Biden being a clone, which a lot of us did know. We're talking about aliens, Area 51, because it is our Sasquatch. It's our 51st episode, so we're going to talk about Area 51.
Awesome.
Phil, how are you?
Hello, everybody. My name is Phil Labonte. I'm the lead singer of the heavy metal band All That Remains. I'm an anti-communist and a counter-revolutionary. So let's get into it.
Here's a story from the post-millennial. Trump slams Biden's...
Yo, he's behind you. He's behind you. He's running through sight through the door.
terror attack suspect, quote, he came in
He's
through
on
Biden's
bomb.
ridiculous open border policy, which has hurt our country so bad. So bad.
Hostile bomb defused.
Yo, did you see what I did?
Hold on, dog. Hold on.
He says, let me pull up the full quote actually because it's cut off. Yesterday's horrific attack in Boulder, Colorado will not be tolerated in the United States of America. He came in through Biden's ridiculous open border policy, which has hurt our country so badly. He must go out under Trump policy. Acts of terrorism will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. This is yet another example of why we must keep our borders secure and deport illegal anti-American radicals from our homeland. My heart goes out to the victims of this terrible tragedy and the great people of Boulder. Now, the latest update is that this guy was charged with murder, implying that one of the individuals he immolated, that is the word, what he did, he set them aflames. The assumption is one of them has died. Now, apparently he had more than 14 more Molotov cocktails and was planning the attack for over a year. These people had been marching peacefully through Boulder to raise awareness for the hostages taken from Israel. They weren't violent, they weren't screaming, they were marching, and they even stated that usually they ignored if they ever came across someone screaming Free Palestine, they just did not respond because they were just trying to bring awareness. This guy shows up screaming Free Palestine, and he set, I believe it was an elderly man who was like 80-something years old, even children on fire. This guy did not cross the border illegally. He came here legally on, I believe, a B1 or B2 visa, like a tourist visa, overstayed it, applied for a work permit for the Biden administration. They knew he was illegal. They let him stay, and therein lies the problem. This is why we need law enforcement. This is why we need vetting. So this is what you get. This is where we're at. Now the question for you, for the panel is, of course, my position has largely been, if an illegal immigrant commits a crime, just deport him. Goodbye. Put them on a list. They can't come back. Secure the country. Don't let them come back. Secure our borders. I don't see why we should spend exorbitant amounts of money on criminal trials for people who weren't supposed to be here in the first place, and then we got to pay to house them. We got to pay for their security. That's right. The cops that come and the correctional officers that have them in cells have to secure them and keep them safe from other people who might want to do them harm. Why should we spend all of that money? Honest question. What do you guys think? Should we?
No. Send them back.
Just send them home?
Yeah.
Let's go. Bye.
Yeah.
The one reason I would say keep him just for a bit is to interrogate him to get answers, to know, like, for the victims, families, of what was this guy doing. We know, but there's some investigation they could probably do, but he shouldn't be here at all. I mean, he should just be gone.
Fair
One friendly
point.
remaining.
Interrogate him to see if there's anybody else he was working with, who was he coordinating with, but I don't know, there's a lot of people, especially in the chat, that are saying he should get a full criminal trial so that we can show everybody what he did, lock him up to make sure he never does it again.
Yeah.
But then that logic, the challenge for me is, this means that every single illegal immigrant that ever comes here, we have to pay for to house.
Yeah,
that's what they're trying. Many of them are trying to do.
Op 4 is defusing a bomb. You need to disable their diffuser.
Hopefully if there is a trial, I'd like to think it would prevent others from doing bad things, but I don't have faith in that either.
No, the point is, all of the threats you can imagine are already in the United States, right? Like this is going to emerge and this is going to continue unless we do deportation. 20 million people came over the border, or something around there, came over the border from when Joe Biden took office until he got out. That is going to mean that there is some number larger than zero of people that are looking to do actual harm to the United States, or willing to do harm, that have brought the bigotries of the old country over here, or are worried about the old country's war, so they're bringing it here. That stuff doesn't, like, that's not America's concern, you know?
Send them to El Salvador and just do Zoom meetings with them.
No,
in the prison.
They shouldn't even
just to figure out the interrogation part. I mean, just to
Oh, okay, all right,
What
yeah.
is the deal as best you can? Because I'm not even gonna trust him, honestly. You know, like as much as I'd like to see some answers, I don't even think we'll get it.
So then don't even worry about it. Just ship them out.
Yeah,
we have to get rid of people. We
Damn,
have to get rid of
dog,
a
it's gonna
lot
be
of people
lit
for that.
this
I mean,
round.
Again, the more difficult you make it for people to stay in the United States, the more people are like, I'm gonna get out of here before it gets.
And maybe the consequences of people seeing someone just immediately disappearing. Look at more.
ICE has been going to immigration courts and USC, I guess, offices. And then when these illegal immigrants try and apply, the moment they're denied, they walk out the door and they get arrested. I mean, it's the smartest way to go about doing it.
5 seconds to insertion.
To be fair, I guess the counter argument is they'll
Op
just
4
stop
has
trying
located
to
a bomb.
apply legally. But if the issue is that they're here illegally and they're going to an immigration office as a last-ditch effort to stay, it's not going to work. You shouldn't have been here, and you're going to get arrested.
Reloading!
Yeah.
And look, by any means necessary with these people, I think we got to get them out.
We don't even need to call it arrested. They're just taken into custody. There's no, like, we're just taking you to the airport to put you on a plane back to wherever. It doesn't matter. There is a credit card that can buy.
Loading full magazine!
Op 4, last operator standing. Op 4 eliminated. Mission successful.
A plane ticket for anywhere in the world that the government has, they can go ahead and say, American whatever airline, please remove this person, send them back.
I was talking to Tom Homan on the morning show last week, and you know, the subject was basically how they're screaming about due process, and I'm like, and I was honored to get to tell the man himself this. The worst thing you are advocating for doing, Mr. Homan, is giving someone a ride home. Imagine a guy breaks into your house, he's rifling through your stuff, you get into a fight with him, tie him up, and say, "Oh, I'm gonna drive you home. Where would you like to go?" That's actually what we are doing with all these people. I think it is infinitely compassionate to some very evil people. That is the route we take.
I mean, I think the question of
Friendly
whether
drone
you keep
deployed.
someone
Op 4
in
is
prison who has
reinforcing its
committed some
location.
crime in addition to crossing the border illegally is that if we look at the past administrations, the border has been like a sieve. If this gentleman is convicted of murder especially, he'll be in prison after Trump is in office. After Trump is out of office, we have no idea what the next administration will be like. If he's in an American prison, we know he's not wandering around in the American public. If we send him back,
Five
who knows
seconds to
whether
go.
he'll cross the border again.
That's good. That's great logic. Hopefully, we get
Located
a successor
bomb.
to Trump
Make your way to its location and
in some
defuse it.
capacity. I mean, look, if in the next 3 years the Democrats ditch the far left and the party becomes like Tulsi Gabbard, I will be very, very happy. Because that means whoever wins, we're going to have some semblance of a let's secure the border at the very least. You know, it won't be psychotic, weird, woke garbage. I doubt it's going to happen in 4 years.
Reloading ammo.
So if hopefully we get someone like Trump who takes over or carries on that legacy. But that's a great point that if we keep people like this in the country and then say J.D. Vance runs and loses, the next Democrat administration is going to let them all go.
Yep.
And then some might argue, yes, but if we send him back to Egypt, the Democrats can reopen the border and he might come back. Well, I'd rather have him try and traverse 12,000 miles
No
than
longer in your possession.
50. Exactly. And not 0 miles. He's just here. Never left.
Send him back.
how many Molotov cocktails? How did you travel with all this? That's a lot of Molotov cocktails to show up with.
So I was asked today on the Green Room show the origin of the term Molotov cocktail, and I was 20% correct. So we fact-checked it. It was the Soviets were dropping cluster bombs on Finland and claiming they were dropping food, so they were called bread baskets. And then the Finns started making cocktails to go along with the bread. So Molotov was the guy who was claiming it was food.
Wow.
He said, "Here's Molotov's cocktails." And they throw fire bombs.
Wow.
It's like, did no one think to make one of these devices before?
Well, I mean, like, there's Greek fire, so they've been...
Yeah, do we know what that is yet?
I don't know for sure.
Hey, you should know this.
I know, I'm married to a Greek. I don't know, though. I don't know.
But you
On
know
the
about
boats,
Greek
they
fire,
used...
right? Like,
So it's basically a...
Oh, okay.
A
Early
flamethrower, and the Greeks had, like, boats that were equipped with flamethrowers, you know, smoke other boats.
and we don't necessarily know how they did it.
Lost technology. Interesting.
Yeah, that's not all that complicated, I imagine.
Yeah.
Throwing fuel or napalm.
Yeah, so I believe the Molotov cocktails, I thought that was pre-World War II, not Cold War. So that was, sort of the era when, sort of gasoline-based vehicles were becoming more common. Because, probably when they started realizing they could set vehicles on fire with them.
Their team fucking sucked, dude.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it was what, 30s, 39. Yeah. So it was during World War II. It was Vyacheslav Molotov was one of the architects of the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact on the eve of World War II. And he was putting propaganda claiming that they were sending food, airborne food deliveries, but they were cluster bombs.
Yeah, dude,
So
you're
they said,
never
"Here's,
getting out of that."
a Molotov cocktail to go along with your bread basket.
I remember someone throwing a Molotov cocktail into a building down the street from us in Brooklyn in like 2015. And
Was it worth
one
it, dude?
Molotov cocktail-
Yeah, what this game has done to me, I
2016,
literally
one
couldn't
Molotov
care
cocktail
less.
did a lot of damage.
Wow.
They're no
Nice.
jokes. Yeah.
Yeah,
Could you
fire.
imagine that's your legacy, like your name, and then people make fire bombs named after you. Now it's just we call them Molotovs.
Great branding.
Yeah.
And you'd think that it might be someone that was actually an anarchist or something like that, considering the association, but it's one of it was a fascist, of some sort.
Right.
All right, we got this next story. Let's go to the New York Times. Ladies and gentlemen, huge news. Trump amplifies another outlandish conspiracy theory. Biden is a robotic clone. President Trump posted another user's false claim that the former president had been executed in 2020 and replaced by a robotic clone. I don't think Trump is serious when he posts these things. He's goofing off. It's remarkable. I'm not going to get into it just now. Maybe we can talk about it later. But Glenn Greenwald had that video leak, and I was sitting here before the show with Kellen, and then I was like, who even like what do I even say about that? I don't even care. So I tweeted, Glenn Greenwald is gay? Question mark. As like that was the joke. Like, come on, who doesn't know that? And tons of these people took it seriously. They were like, you didn't know that?
Of course.
Donald Trump does not think that Joe Biden is actually a robot clone.
I don't know, man. I mean, the only thing outlandish about this is that it's 2020. I think it was probably way before 2020.
To be fair, what does Trump know about our ability to make robot clones?
Look at those ears.
So this is the old Biden by Dan conspiracy theory. You can see it's all grainy because, like, I can't find this anymore.
They really had to
Friendly
pull
drone
that skin
deployed.
tight.
Op 4
if
is
that's
reinforcing
not,
its location.
If it's not a robot, but it does look like the 2021 Biden definitely looks like he's a skunk.
If he was a robot, he wouldn't be stuttering and falling apart.
Unless they built the robot to look like an old, deteriorating man. Because someone on Twitter shared this great video side by side of
10
Optimus
seconds
walking and
before
Biden
insertion.
walking, and it's very similar. Well, it doesn't take much
5
to throw some
seconds.
skin on one of these robots. The CIA's been making amazing skin masks forever.
Proceed to
So
bomb's
throw one of those on a
location and
robot.
defuse it.
Like in
Boom.
Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
Here's what they say. They say President Trump shared an outlandish conspiracy theory on social media on Saturday night, saying former President Joe Biden had been executed in 2020 and replaced by a robotic clone. The latest example of the president amplifying dark, false material to his millions of followers. Mr. Trump reposted a fringe rant from another user had made on the president's social media platform, Truth Social, just after 10 p.m. on Saturday. The White House did not respond to requests. Bro, I know exactly what Trump is doing. Like, me and the boys were at the bar and we're chilling, and then someone's like, hey, look at this, and they text me something, and then I laugh and I hit retweet.
1 op 4 remaining.
And that's what Trump's hanging out with the buddies, and they're having a cigar or something, and he's like, hey, how many of you want to see me send this tweet and make other media go crazy? And they're like, do it, Trump, you gotta do it.
Or he has key intel. How many different Bidens did we see through those 4 years? There was a lot. There were green screen Bidens. There were like.
Man, I wanted to see if I could kill the guy if he's that low HP, man.
He looked like a skeleton for the entire time of his presidency.
Pregnancy?
Yeah.
From his artificial womb as a clone.
But he didn't. I mean, there's a remarkable difference between Vice President Biden and President Biden.
Oh yeah. Even 80s Biden, 90s Biden, to Vice President Biden.
I feel like when Vice President Biden was vice president like that was when he still had like the features that he had when he was 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
I really do feel like it was 2020 is when he was a totally different animal. I feel like when he was like, no, I'm not gonna run for president, and kind of chilled out and went into hiding or whatever. Like he got some work done and came back as like bionic Biden.
He was hopped up on tons of drugs.
I mean,
he was obviously a mess. He
Yeah.
couldn't talk.
Yeah, but I'm talking about like the facial.
And the face, and the face he was melting.
Well, so this is what people point out.
Stretched back, not melting.
He was melting, and then they were stretching him. He was melting.
Here's what people said. If you take a look at Biden's ears in 2008,
10 seconds.
you can see he's got unattached lobes, little floppy piece of the ear. And then Biden 2021, it's an attached lobe. And so they're saying nothing could do that. Well, to be fair, stretching his skin back real tight for a facelift, I think could do that, right?
I don't know. I think that's a little weird. That's some extra work. That's
It
not
does.
just tightening.
It does look like a different person, to be honest. Like
it does.
Yeah.
Well, old people look sag as they get older.
They sag, but do their ears attached all of a sudden?
But like Joe Biden in 2021 doesn't look like he's sagging. It's all pulled back. Like he looks more like a cartoon skull.
Yeah.
Like if you just painted his head red, he would look just like the skull from with Iron Man.
Yeah.
So this is the post. Okay, so actually, let me just do this. Here's Donald Trump's truth
Man.
and you can see he's just retruthed this without saying anything else. When you click it, this just says there is no Joe Biden. Executed in 2020, Biden clones, doubles, and robotic engineered soulless, mindless entities are what you see. Democrats don't know the difference. And then it's quoting a Q post that is the Babylon Bee. Biden family worried they may be running out of time to exploit Joe Biden's health. Now, let's just try this. How much do you want to bet Trump shared this because it's a Babylon Bee satirical post that was making fun of it, and he just saw this, and he just hit repost.
Fair point. But I also should say then how much distance is usually between a Babylon Bee article and not the Bee article. Because this could come true real soon.
Well, Babylon Bee is prophetic.
And the whole point of not the bee is like, no, these sound like Babylon Bee stuff,
Right.
but they're
So
not.
we get the joke first, but then all of a sudden the real stuff comes out.
Yeah, right away.
There's reporting on it. I think we're going to find out.
Can you imagine
Fake president, fake Oval Office. We talked about the green screen thing with the boom mic. That still weirds me out.
Yo, did you see that?
One friendly operator remaining.
The guy wanted me to open the wall, so I stunned him. I shot a stun at the wall, and then because he couldn't run through the wall, he had nowhere to go. He just had to run out here, and he got killed.
Nice.
15 seconds remaining. 10 seconds left. All friendlies have been eliminated.
No, the guy died
There's a whole
before I could
network of
fucking
fake
kill him.
Bidens. That was like an illusion.
Okay, so my new strat, since apparently whatever that guy's name is, Flores, just doesn't go well with me. I'm going to wait until they're low and hit them twice with Zophia's grenade launchers, and that should kill them.
Nice.
Because it puts them to like 20 HP. So.
It's not just gonna down them.
Well, it might down them, but then I think I can shoot it again and it should kill them. But even if it does down them, I guess that's fine. And if they're down, I'll go shoot them while they're down while someone's reviving them and get the other guy down to like 20 HP as well.
I can't keep this up. I can't keep it up, guys. I just can't keep it up. I'm so over it. Listen, everybody at home, this is all scripted. Biden's not real. Trump's not real. All of us, including Trump and Biden, we're all cast by the CIA. The true government's been in control the whole time.
Did you see the CIA's got a renewed presence on X now? That was like free.
The funny thing is that I make that joke, but someone out there is sitting there. You know, that's what I'm really worried about when it comes to like security threats.
Bomb located.
Someone out there is going to genuinely believe I was serious.
You have been spotted by hostiles. Fall back.
Yeah. Based.
Loading full magazine.
Your location has been compromised.
Loading full magazine.
You have been spotted.
Come on, Trump's a reality TV guy.
to
Yeah,
disable
the
their
CIA
data.
came to all of us and said, we're going to cast him as the president. The real president, you know his name is? No. Edward Schmidt.
I'm probably gonna say Elvis Presley.
Elvis Presley.
Diffuser
There's a good
located.
theory. The first thing you have to worry about is probably the agency.
Gotta worry about them.
Yeah.
Trudeau's the
Last operator standing. All friendlies were eliminated. Failure.
So that means
Oh, he's an actor, too.
Castro's son is the real president.
He's definitely
Interesting.
Yeah, this is just the third casting of Biden. Because it's a show.
At least.
It's TV.
Third episode.
You don't really believe what you see on the TV, do you? Come on.
I don't believe anything I see on the internet.
That's right. So when they say Trump's the president, I'm like, just the internet again.
Yeah.
I mean, it all is just the internet.
Fair point though. Anyone out there should read the book Weird Scenes from Laurel Canyon, which does talk about the CIA infiltrating different subcultures and putting actors in to certain places to do their bidding.
Well, there's a new conspiracy theory about in the Diddy trial. Some woman came out and said that she helped Mike Myers meet with the CIA or something and liaise for like government projects. And everybody's going nuts, being like, whoa, how many celebrities with CIA? If you Google search Mike Myers CIA, he went and did a tour of the CIA headquarters in 2008. Like, it was all public. There's pictures. He waved, and he said that he was a fan of those who were buying service from the country or something. I don't think if he was actually working for the CIA, he'd have done that.
No, in Laurel Canyon, the book talks about how there was the Mount Hope Observatory, which Jared Leto owned, I think, most recently, and they filmed like, at least 50,000 propaganda films with a bunch of like Hollywood stars for the government. The other theory is that the moon was filmed there. I won't go that far. I think it may be filmed elsewhere, but that Mount Hope Observatory. I won't go that far, Tim. But the Mount Look Observatory is
not
a
sure
real
if
thing.
it's right.
The moon is a thing. It's just might not be what we think it is.
You think it's a space station?
It could be very well.
Because when they hit it, it rang like a bell.
Yeah. Or it's plasma. I don't know. I haven't been there.
Did you guys see the video of the people who thought the sun was a strange object?
Yeah. Sometimes people see things and it was like a red orb, and they were
So
like,
I went out for peanut butter sandwich last night.
Sounds great.
Jumped in my Cybertruck, rolled down the windows. I was blasting. What kind of movie was I blasting? I think it was Seal. Full volume. Nope. It was NPR.
Ready.
You gotta listen to NPR because you gotta know what the crackpots are saying. And as I was driving, because it's only
Nice,
about 10
dude.
minutes to the local ice cream place, I looked up at the sun and I was like, wow,
Hey, I use my own
there's a
mirror strap.
haze. And so you could actually just see the sun without hurting your eyes, and it was red.
Good for you. You
And I
proud
was
of
like,
yourself?
cool. And I know that
Yes.
there's
All friendlies
the
were eliminated.
wildfires in Canada and stuff, so this was expected. But there's a bunch of videos where people are like, "Whoa!" Pointing the cameras at the sun,
Yeah.
and they think there's a gigantic Nibiru or Planet X.
Which is possible, but it wasn't that. Because I saw the sun last night too. Setting after we did our last Inverted World live on Sunday. It was a weird red orb.
Yeah, it's just there's haze in the sky.
It happens, yeah.
So it's blocking a lot of the light, and you can look at it.
Or Bill Gates is replacing the sun. I don't know.
Well, they wanted to. What did they want to do? They wanted to put dust in the sky to
Yeah.
reduce the penetration
Yeah.
of solar radiation.
Bill Gates wants his ScopeX plan is to fill the sky with dust to reverse climate change.
Which is like he really does want to do that too.
Yeah.
That's. Well, yeah. Like it's not like it's just rumor. Like
And there's people trying it right now. I think in Washington.
UK actually passed legislation about it, about blocking a certain amount of sun. from the sky.
Not a good idea.
You know the saying.
Of all, the
you
UK
either
of all places.
the saying is, you either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become Mr. Burns.
Yeah.
I don't see how that's not like eco-terrorism. Like, you
Yes.
can just do that? I don't know.
He is an eco-terrorist.
The problem The Simpsons had is that they made Mr. Burns sound devious and mischievous and, oh, Smithers, we're going to black out the sun. Like there was some strength.
Yeah.
When it should have been more like Bill Gates, like, well, actually, I think if we put a big disc and block the sun a bit, it might reduce temperatures. And you're like, oh.
Yep.
They had that on some episodes, but that's not Mr. Burns.
Such a terrible idea too.
Well, it's funny. I do love how Greta Thunberg is no longer all about the climate. She's all about Gaza.
Rebrand.
Wait, didn't we used to get banned when we would team kill on all the time? Like we would get banned for like a few days, right?
Yeah.
Do you remember how long it was? Was it like 5 days, 20 days? It was a while, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
I love how you can just infinitely kill people now.
Daya oat cream blend.
Everyone's got
Right.
a rebrand.
Yeah.
Sender, yeah.
She's like dealing with her agent, and they're like, look, climate is out, Gaza is in. You got to hit
Down to 10 seconds.
She's like, oh, you
Op
sure?
four
I don't know
located
nothing
the
about
biohazard
Gaza.
container.
You're like, say whatever. Believe it.
Here's a
5
rocket
seconds.
launcher and a boat.
All right, we got another story, ladies and gentlemen. This is huge news. You may have noticed this Pride Month. It's June 2nd, and guess what? CNN is calling it. Big brands are pulling back on Pride merchandise and events this year. That's right. For the last several years, Pride Month was a flashy marketing event for big brands. Stores adorned windows with rainbow flags, LGBTQ-themed T-shirts and mugs. Not anymore. Companies are treading lightly. Look at this. They even say Bud Light and Target. Let me say this. When I walk into Target, there's usually a few things that I want to get. I want to check the card section.
Fuck!
Depending on where you are in the country, an old Target or Walmart might have extremely rare Pokemon cards or Magic Gathering that are like, no joke. My buddy went to a store and there were like 10-year-old cards sitting there for like 50 bucks that were actually worth hundreds of dollars. But I digress. I don't want to see weird gay stuff like tuck-friendly bathing suits. And when I buy beer, I want to make crude, off-color jokes with my friends, not be lectured by a man who thinks he's a woman. Naturally, this self-reported mental health correlates with conservative political views. Let me just slow down and say it plainly. Sanity and conservatism overlap. Insanity and liberalism overlap. That is not my opinion. It's the day.
Down to 10 seconds. 5 seconds to insertion. Op 4 has located the biohazard container.
Ordnance out and primed.
data presented by the Cooperative Election Study of 2022, get the data, as republished by Nate Silver, which shows the poorer the mental health state, the higher tendency towards liberalism. The stronger the self-reported mental state, the higher reported connection with conservatism.
I mean, it's clear as day.
Yeah, I mean, look, we've talked about these kind of things a lot around here, like the fact that, conservatives tend to be more, I am capable of affecting the world, and the left tends to be more, I'm affected by the world, and I need community and blah 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 in order to take care of myself, whereas people on the right are just, they're like, I can go out and fix this, I can go do this. And that's just kind of the, these things are fairly obvious, these types of results.
Parents on the left are willing to mutilate their children.
Yeah.
That's insanity.
Yeah.
And they call that healthcare.
I mean, parents on the left let their kids watch Sesame Street.
Also abuse. They're another one of those corporations.
To be fair, Sesame Street did a Pride Month thing. And then I was like, not for my kid. And the left lost their mind.
Oh, did you get a lot of...
So mad.
People were upset about
that. How dare you not like gay puppets?
Yeah, and I'm like, my kid's not going to watch it. And to be honest, I don't think my kid should be watching even old school.
Op 4 eliminated.
Because I don't want her to identify with a green monster that lives in a garbage can.
Yeah.
Like, I think all that stuff weird. I look back at, not absolutely, not to be absolutist, but like, most of humans grew up looking at their parents. There was no children's content. It didn't exist. So when you were a baby, you literally just saw your parents doing work. And that's it. Like, most of human existence, there's no schoolhouses. There's no dumbing down of anything to try and get a kid to learn it. It was literally just the baby was there with mom, and then when the baby could walk, the baby was walking around, and then the baby went to work with dad. We didn't have Sesame Street. We didn't have, these weird, we didn't have Dumbo. So... I'm gonna limit all that weird, crazy stuff for my kid. So we're obviously gonna do math and reading and things like that. But I'm gonna stay away from the weird cartoon, psycho, children's content stuff.
Yeah, and the stuff in the last 10 years has made it so every father is a bumbling fool. Kids are rude to their parents. Like, we'll let our kids watch if they get to watch. We don't have the TV, but we'll give them like an iPad or something. They can watch stuff that's old, but there's so much stuff lately that is just, it's criminal that they let kids watch it.
We had our first assassin with the baby today. She was sassing us.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's trying to suck her thumb.
Op 4 is reinforcing its location.
We're not letting her.
Nicely done.
And she
The
started
biohazard container has been located.
and shoving, and then like pulling her arm and then jamming her thumb in her mouth with an angry face.
It's a hard habit to make them quit. Yeah.
We thought it was fun.
Baby sass.
But that's the thing too. It's like, I don't want
10 seconds to
like
go.
human sass. Kids, you got to give them discipline. They got to be taught things like
5
that.
seconds.
So the last thing I would do is put my kids in front of Sesame Street or some other weird crackpot stuff that's going to cause weird mental instability as they get older.
Yeah, and to sort of tie this issue back to one of the earlier stories in terms of immigration is that, if you look at the children's content or the adult entertainment, it is so heavily captured by these leftist ideologies. If you look at the education system, also captured by these leftist ideologies, and those are two of the main avenues of assimilation. I think that's one of the reasons why the left is so big about immigration, is because they have
We're talking about AI. Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, I think.
I saw that. I've got that. I've got.
America's the testing ground.
The Martin.
Seconds. 5 seconds. Biohazard container location unknown. Find the biohazard container.
Spotted.
Swapping.
Hostiles located.
You have found the biohazard container. Proceed to its location.
Mine is up.
Hostile spot.
Secure the container. Resume the container once the threat is neutralized. 4 last operator standing. Hostile activity. Secure the container once the threat. Secure the room. Protect the bio container. Op 4 eliminated.
Global government is slowly poisonous and domestic. Get your limited edition
Damn,
Gulf of
dog.
America shirt.
We won the fucking
at
game.
thealexshowstore.com. All right. It was not hard to predict. I have done it hundreds of times.
Alright, one more fucking
in the
troll game
last
and I'm
year,
getting off
that
this fucking piece of shit.
Trump would win the popular and the electoral college, and that as soon as he was president-elect, Biden would start bombing the living hell out of Russia, and that Israel would launch an expanded war. Because the same globalists that are manipulating the European war are manipulating Netanyahu, who wants to cling on to power. And I said, as the left and the Democratic Party and Soros and the other socialist and communist parties in Europe worship the Islamists, worship the Palestinians, and hype it up that it's the greatest crime in history, and just literally call for violence constantly, that you're going to have unstable, unhinged people go out and start attacking Jewish centers, Jewish museums, Jewish synagogues, things like that. You don't have to go out and do it yourself and stage a false flag. You do that, it creates a clash of civilizations. And remember how Obama, now 14, 15 years ago, started the Arab Spring and put radical Muslims in control and overthrew our allies like Egypt and others, and started the Syrian civil war. And now they've handed that country over to Al-Qaeda. And that's just a snapshot. Israel founded Hamas to destabilize the Palestinian Authority. This is Christ's creation. And all these major governments do this. And it's wrong. And Trump doesn't like the destabilization model. He likes the prosperity straight shooting model, and is trying to end the kinetic section of World War III that's already happened. Real war planners call it. We're in World War III right now. It is asymmetrical, economic, military, cultural. Trump says the horrible DC killings based solely on anti-Semitism must end now. Hatred and radicalism have no place in the USA. Condolences to the families of the victims. So sad that such things as this can happen. God bless you all. So, I will say this. Elias Rodriguez, a liberal, socialist, communist, pro-Palestinian activist, U.S. citizen from Chicago, look at his eyes. He just thinks he's an angel. He thinks he's fighting the bullies. And he thinks, boy, he really scored a hit against the Jews and against Benjamin Netanyahu. Let me tell you something. Benjamin Netanyahu, when he got this news, had a big fat smile on his face. And he hopes more of you dumbass lunatics go out and do stuff like this. All right?
5 seconds.
Israel's famous for different years for blowing up their own people.
Proceed to bomb location and defuse.
All right. In Spain, Portugal, Iraq, Syria, in the 50s, 60s, 70s. Israel is famous for, they don't have people killing Jews. Depending on who's in power, they don't all do it. They will do it.
Changing megs.
Someone exposed you. One op 4 remaining. Op 4 eliminated. Friendly mission successful.
Do it. And you saw all the wars that came out of 9/11 when Netanyahu was prime minister as well. So he's been doing this stuff for 25 years. And he's hooked into the globalist neocon leftist system as well. And when the Rothschilds and the UN are funding all this pro-Palestinian stuff,
Friendly drone
it is to
deployed.
create a
Op 4
class
is
of
reinforcing its
civilizations
location.
and to create crisis so they can have crisis management. The EU said 2 years ago, all the main defense ministers, all the main ministers, finance ministers, our business model is a 20 to 30-year war with Russia. It'll be conventional and it'll collapse Russia.
10 seconds
Instead, it's
before
collapsing the
insertion.
EU. So that's what Netanyahu wants, to keep war going so he stays in power. And so nobody investigates the stand down
Located a
he
bomb.
clearly ordered
Making way to
on
its
October
location and
7th.
defuse it.
So Muslims aren't good, Netanyahu's not good, Iran's not good, NATO's not good. Iran uses this ongoing conflict. They're very unpopular. The mullahs, the Shiite dictatorship. They do that to keep control of their people and to use the threat of triggering a nuclear war to demand hundreds of billions of dollars. So it's all these corrupt, evil
Starting shock drone. Stay clear of the blast!
Dude, I hate when my fucking teammates outline blocks the goddamn person.
Governments
One op 4 remaining.
I swear I have that out.
I have predicted it hundreds of times that going into the summer, you will see attacks on Jewish centers. Just look it up. Just go to X. Alex Jones predicts leftists will attack Jewish centers in the summer. And I predict Antifa will start taking over buildings in the summer.
15 seconds remaining.
I predict months before they're going to attack Tesla.
Op 4 eliminated.
I mean,
Friendly
I
mission
know
successful.
their MO. Okay, and it looks like it's different groups fighting, and at the ground level, they believe they're fighting each other, and it's a real conflicts. But above it, it's globalists manipulating all of this. In the case of the Middle East, in the case of Western politics, Russia is its own standalone and is fighting, so it's definitely not in on. So this is very serious. And you've got the left that's totally pro-censorship and tyranny, and we've been opposing that. And Trump's been good about opposing it on most issues, but you got a lot of Republicans trying to pass these laws in New York, got a Palestinian flag, 4 years in prison. That's unconstitutional. You got Florida passing laws. This is Texas is trying to pass these laws. You got the governor wanting to sanction Texas towns if they have a resolution against Israel on Gaza, like San Marcos. That's their right to do that. And I'm not even trying to attack Greg Abbott, the overall, not a Democrat governor. It's just we have to maintain our integrity and our rights, our Constitution, our Bill of Rights, our Declaration of Independence, because that's what protects everybody. It doesn't give us our rights; it enshrines them.
Loading back! Deploying welcome mat!
So
defensive.
It's going to get bad. And I'll tell you right now, I've been saying this ahead of the Iran attack. I said it last week, week before. You all heard me. You were listening.
Ready for company.
I said 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, and last week. Please find it, crew. For listeners out there, you find it posted on X with the headline, Alex Jones predicted attacks on Jewish centers ahead of Israeli strike on Iran. Imminent. I said that the globalists want to derail the peace deal in Ukraine for a big nuclear reactor, play with the Russians, maybe even attack the moon. Or some more missiles fired into Poland or something like this. Once you already got caught doing two
Dog, I'm still alive. Dude, how the fuck did I survive that?
Op 4, last operator standing. Op 4 eliminated. Mission successful.
Dude, how did I survive that? What the hell? That's fucking retarded.
years ago, but the trajectory, the radar, and the Poles shot the missiles in the air, so they didn't fully detonate, so they got the tail numbers. And Zelensky's like, no, it's Russia, attack Russia, nuclear war, let's go. And I'm not saying Israel shot these two diplomats last night. I don't believe that. I've looked at the MO, but the temperature's been turned up so high that you know this is coming. And if you don't get these organic attacks from the temperature being turned up, then I do believe with Netanyahu's history that he would stage a false flag. And if you say that governments or systems won't do that, it's called pawn sacrifice. Look up pawn sacrifice in military strategy. Pawn sacrifice in military strategy. What do you think happens in the U.S. military in these wars where they'll send in a small expeditionary force of a few hundred troops or even 50, and they know they're going into an enemy-infested area. They know that a group's going to get attacked. It's a suicide mission. There's a 50-50 chance that they're going to get killed or captured or more. And those troops, by the way, that sign up for that know that. That's meant to draw out the enemy. And in many cases, it's meant to get troops killed when you put them on the border or something, so you have a pretext, just like they've been sending French, British, Dutch troops, German troops now into Ukraine to get them killed, so when they're ready to, they can announce it as a pretext for full war. So the argument is, oh, for the greater good of our country, we're going to just do this. And you can put people in a position to get killed, or you can do it yourself. But when you look at the MO of this Elias Rodriguez, you look at his background, he was so filled with hysterical hate and fantasizing about what a wonderful little hero he is.
What?
And how he's going to stand up for the Palestinians.
Got like 10 hours
He
trolling.
went and did this. It's on record. Shoots the 2 diplomats outside, the 2 Israel embassy workers. One's a diplomat, one worked there, his wife. And then goes inside, leaves the gun in the bushes, goes inside, says, call the police, and then later tells them, no, I just killed 2 people. What is suspicious is, as I looked at the news, it was a whole bunch of different Jewish people, different backgrounds, groups meeting there. How did he know to target 2 embassy staff? And yeah, if you're embassy staff, everybody, same thing with the State Department, folks. You're also, if you're U.S., you're CIA as well, and you're Mossad if you are Israeli. So how did they know? How did Elias Rodriguez know? Well, I bet you money he had insiders, because there are a bunch. When you go out to these demonstrations, and I've been doing it for decades, these anti-Israel demonstrations, I mean, it's like a third Jews. They'll tell you. And they just absolutely hate Israel in general. So this is very, very suspicious. And so we need to obviously see what unfolds here. D.C. police have identified the man who shot 2 Jewish diplomats.
Yeah, the interesting thing about the SR-71 is the landing gear, like the rear landing gear, have 3 wheels, which is very odd.
A 30-year-old Elias Rodriguez of Chicago, he allegedly paced outside the Capitol Jewish Museum and waited the targets to exit. Again, how did he know? People are going in and out. The 2 were a couple who were set to be engaged next week per the embassy. So very, 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 very suspicious. And what Netanyahu does have a history of, this came out in the news many times, is running Islamic terrorists who actually think they're working for an Islamic boss, and they're really working for that whole special division of Arabs that they've hired, and Arabic Jews, Sephardic Jews, who then will go lead, kind of like the FBI's been caught many times doing, radical Islamists to carry out attacks. I'm not saying that's the case. I'm just saying there's a long history of this, and Netanyahu needs things like this to get everybody riled up and to get Americans behind going after Iran. You're like, well, how did Iran do this? Well, how did Iraq attack us on 9/11 if you believe the fake story that it was, bin Laden in Afghanistan? Why did we go into Iraq 2 years later? It's just the same thing. It just creates a bunch of fear and hysteria. So this is a big deal. I did it for Gaza. Killing of embassy staff stokes Israel fears of increasing hostile world. 2 Israeli embassy staffers killed in shocking attack in Washington, D.C. Suspect Elias Rodriguez chants free Palestine while taken into custody after 2 Israeli embassy staffers shot dead in D.C. Breaking. So I'm going to play some clips of this and then move on to other big stories. But what Soros leftist nutball, and that's the main funder of this, would think that killing Jews in America is going to help have peace in the Middle East? The more Jews you kill, the more it gives Netanyahu the pretext to expand all this, dumbasses. So, I mean, the U.S. Navy, it's all been declassified, had broken the purple and blue code a year before and given it by the British. They knew the Japanese and even the date of the attack, and had the aircraft carriers put out to sea because they knew battleships were basically worthless at that point other than bombarding shorelines. They'd done that for a long time, and they were building a bunch at the time in the U.S. as well. And so they didn't tell the naval people, they didn't tell the Marines in Hawaii, in Honolulu, and then 2 submarines came in, got there early, didn't have good navigation back then, crashed 4 hours and 3 hours before right by it on the coast, and then they didn't warn the fleet, the admirals didn't under orders. So you got Japanese showing up early, no warning, just like the stand down on October 7th, 7.5 hours. Doesn't mean Hamas isn't real, doesn't mean Hezbollah didn't help them, doesn't mean it was wrong what they did. No, they did. It's wrong. But we now know it's been released by the Iranians that, yeah, they didn't want a peace deal in the Middle East. Well, neither did Netanyahu. So there's a lot of sick, evil crap going on, and people trying to block Trump's agenda. So here is Elias Rodriguez, and then here is one of the people that was in the Jewish museum that witnessed this, and this story he tells is now been confirmed by the police. Here it is.
What are you building right now? SR-71?
Oh, it's so good. Because ours has all natural, organic mint.
Yes.
And a little bit of vanilla. And it actually tastes good with the soda. So good. Little treat I'll be enjoying today. And my skin really enjoys it. My libido really enjoys it. My clarity enjoys it. I had ringing in my ears a little bit. And taking the ultimate turmeric formula, I'm religiously taking all the supplements now. Because I know supplements are great. Fastest growing industry for 30 years other than AI now. It's people just keep learning how great it is. You go to Whole Foods or any big nice grocery store, they have giant aisles and aisles of it because it works. We got the strongest turmeric. I take it all now. Every day the Irish sea moss, every day the Shilajit, every day the Optimal Human, every day the iodine, every 2 or 3 days the methylene blue. And it depends on your physiology. Look, methylene blue is no joke, so especially ours. Consult your physicians and interact with SSRIs and other things. So if you're on any medications, talk to your doctor. But because it's not a joke, okay? You are crazy if you don't try this. Plus, it funds the operation of 360 Win. Plus, lock in 50% off from here on out right now. Limited time. It's only going to run for another week and a half or so. Because they're like, hey, why are you about to offer get a free bottle? It's going to sell out. I want the people that love a great deal to get off the fence because I want you as a long-term customer. Plus, we're fundraising right now because the court could rule we get shut down on June 6th. You're like, man, you keep surviving. Yeah, just like Trump. This is a long-term battle. And so we need funds for our lawsuits, our actions, all the things that are happening. We're beginning to win. TheAlexJonesStore.com. And there's a huge selection. In fact, I wanted the widest selection, some of the best designs, but it's actually annoying in a way because there's over 500 different t-shirt and ball cap designs now. It is just ridiculous. At TheAlexJonesStore.com, all made right here in America, printed in America, shipped out of Fayetteville, Arkansas. Our great sponsor. And even if InfoWars gets shut down, I don't own TheAlexJonesStore.com, so they can't ever shut down our sponsor that's financing the Alex Jones Network backup system. So, check it all out. That's the best seller right there. I designed that, the Gulf of America, at TheAlexJonesStore.com. And become a VIP. $30 a month, cancel anytime. Get $40 to spend each month at the store, of store credit, special deals, special offers, special sales only for you. Become a VIP. Become a subscriber for the supplements. But whatever you do, visit TheAlexJonesStore.com. Something for everybody. And it's financing and funding the tip of the spear, all because of God, the unprecedented success of this transmission. Whether it's Steve Bannon or Tucker Carlson or Joe Rogan or anybody else, they'll tell you Alex Jones blew this wide open. Alex Jones triggered this worldwide. I'm recognized by the good guys and the bad guys.
Is there anything to do on Monday?
But it's not me. It's what we've done.
What do you mean?
Like, is there anything going on in the city that'd be, like, worth going to?
Like next Monday?
Yeah, next Monday.
I have no idea why.
Because I have Monday off.
I feel like most stuff that happens is near the end of end of summer, At least that I would know of. But I have no clue. Yeah, I don't know.
Done together with God working through us. But we need to recognize, like Steve Bannon said on his show today live. Right
So you pay to go to the gym.
Jones has been the number one target other than Trump the longest. Alex Jones understands the enemy plan like nobody
What?
else.
Yeah.
That's why the enemy hates him the most. And I mean, they hate Bannon just as much. It's not even. It doesn't matter.
How much does it cost?
The point is, I'm just reporting to you that we
Actually,
are the
don't
devastator.
remember what it
You,
is per
all of us,
month.
this crew, this operation.
It's
I
not
mean, it's
cheap
now
for
admitted. And I got calls about it last week, and I didn't want to read it. And Mike Cernovich is really smart, and he's a lawyer. And he called me last night, or he texted me, and I called him, and he said, "Hey, you need to read this. It's all about me, how I'm trying to kill everybody and fight the globalist and replacement migration, and how I need to be set up with a strategic secret FBI operation to be put in prison." Well, that's what he started in 2013 with the documents we got a few months ago from Trump and the FBI, where they put under national security investigation to harass and attack and fund lawsuits and everything they did against me. And now Comey's written his new book, FDR Drive, and why are they so obsessed with me? Because they're obsessed with you. They don't want you to have hope. They don't want you to know their game plan. And Comey and Obama have been trying to put me in prison since 2013, declassified. So when you back this operation, you're backing literally a sentinel that defends you and your family. When I say a sentinel, I mean myself, our guests, the crew, our reporters, our journalists, our everybody here. We are defending you. We are standing guard. And if you don't spread the word about the broadcast, if you don't financially support us while getting great products, it's just folly. It's a no-brainer default that we got Trump in because people woke up a little and got a little off the bench. And I'm not lecturing our audience. You are the most hardcore, most engaged people out there per capita. You're a focal point the enemy hates. Because they got to get through us, all of us together, the info warriors, to get to the general public. We're raising the alarm. There's not just evil in the universe, there's good as well. Remember the devil's greatest trick? Wasn't convincing the world he didn't exist. That's the second biggest, in my opinion. No, it's convincing the world that good doesn't exist and there's no hope, demoralizing us. All right, let's now get into the news here. House Republicans passed Trump's big bill of tax breaks and program cuts after all-night session. Cuts for the working class, cuts for the middle class, and all sorts of tax incentives to bring your factories to America and to hire Americans. I've been trying to go over it, but I've been doing interviews and stuff before, but I'm getting the reports. It's all coming in. It's certainly not perfect, but it's got the Democrats just crapping their britches. Chuck Schumer, it cuts all the carbon restrictions, shut down our last coal power plants. It just blows the living snot out of them. And last time, I'm scanning through it right now. It's a big, obviously a big bill, a lot in it. Cuts the plan to turn the IRS loose on the public. Democrats slipped that in. This is amazing. So we'll continue to analyze it as it goes. The big, beautiful bill vote, House Dems just signed their own political death warrant. I agree. In a floor speech before the vote on the one big, beautiful bill this morning, House Speaker Mike Johnson called out the Democrat colleagues for what their no votes would signify. Let the record show that when the House Democrats vote in a few seconds, in a few moments, this is what they'll be voting for, he said. They vote will show that they are apparently for the largest tax increase in history of our country. Their vote will show that they are apparently for the largest tax increase in history of our country. They will be voting for when they vote against this bill. Waste, fraud, and abuse. They will be voting against safer communities, American energy dominance, and American strength on the world stage. Indeed, the National Republican Congressional Committee said House Democrats will come to regret their vote, arguing they essentially flipped middle-class America the bird. That's right. They want the taxes to increase. They didn't just vote against the one big beautiful bill, a pro-family, pro-worker, pro-growth package that delivers historic tax relief and economic revival. They voted against the very people they claim to represent. Raises taxes by 22%, the highest tax hike in American history. Kills 7 million jobs. This is what would happen. House Democrats just signed their own political death warrant. NRCC spokesperson Mike Marinella said the statement, voters won't forget they betrayed working families and Republicans won't let them. The bill narrowly passed this morning by a vote of 215, 214. Two Republican reps, Thomas Massie of Kentucky and Warren Davidson of Ohio, joined Democrats in opposing the measure, while House Freedom Caucus Chair Andy Harris of Maryland voted present. So, if this hadn't passed, there had been massive tax increases on working class and a bunch of other stuff. So we'll continue to break that down as it unfolds. Now, continuing, Ed Martin named the top 3 suspects in Biden's auto pen fiasco. Ed Martin identifies gatekeepers involved in Biden auto pen scandal, says whistleblower has come forward with shocking allegations. DOJ pardon attorney, and now heading up the anti-corruption weaponization task force, Ed Martin, discussed Biden's growing auto pen scandal this week with journalist Mark Halperin. Last Tuesday, Ed Martin said that the Justice Department is reviewing Joe Biden's last-minute pardons since it's become increasingly clear that he was incapacitated during the presidency. Ed Martin this Tuesday revealed he wrote to the Biden family and others, and a senior Democrat whistleblower came forward with shocking allegations. A couple of people lawyered up, Ed Martin said. The Biden pardons are unprecedented, he added. I had this whistleblower in my office a day ago, senior Democrats saying, look, it was these 3 people that controlled access. They were making money off of it, Ed Martin told Mark Halperin. I don't know if I believe it yet, but the point is I think we have to get to the bottom of it, to the American people, and protect the process, and that's what we're doing. Yeah, they're getting ready to hang out the minions to dry because it looks like, because a bunch of super hardcore drug dealers and murderers got pardoned too, that aren't even politically powerful or connected to Biden, that were some people on the side, minions, that were operating it and said, well, why don't we just print money and do some side deals, and then the Democrats could hang them out to dry and act like, oh, this is what was happening. And I was talking to Roger Stone about that yesterday. That's what he's heard. Although Ed Martin couldn't name the names yet, he said the senior Democrat whistleblower worked as a high-level advisor in the Joe Biden's campaign and administration. The 3 gatekeepers who were allegedly selling access to the auto pen were Biden's chief of staff, Ron Klain, Kingpin, Mal Lubber, and senior White House advisor Anita Dunn, and the Biden attorney, Bob Bauer. Ed Martin said former Biden counsel Steve Ricchetti and Jill Biden were also lead characters in the Biden White House. Yeah, she was a gatekeeper too. But it was a committee run by Obama that made the real policy decisions. There's a lot of other stuff getting signed that people are making money off of on the side. This is just massive. These are traitorous thugs, to quote President Trump. And Biden was an illegitimate presidency. He stole it, but the courts blocked any of that evidence being brought forward, but we all brought it out. But we have them on the auto pen. We have them banning liquid natural gas, and it goes on and on. We have Biden on record not knowing. So it's amazing. Now, we're going to go to some clips here and shift gears really quick. So, it was historic yesterday with the South African black supremacist communist in the White House trying to gaslight with the corporate media. No, we never touched a white person. We haven't killed thousands of white farmers. We didn't pass a law last year to take their land without compensation. No, no, no. You know, we don't know what you're talking about. We have no idea. So Trump puts it on screen, a quick documentary, very similar to ones we put out, that just shows the mass death numbers. Then Trump shows him, just in the last few weeks, dozens and dozens of articles about more white farmers being tortured to death, murdered, raped, killed, their land taken, their farms burned down. And the president said, nope, we don't do that. He goes, well, here's your party. Here's another party. Here's your party conventions, hundreds of thousands saying, kill the white people, kill the Boer, shoot them, kill them, chase them, murder them. His own government last week said, we don't want Trump taking any of these people, only 80-something. They're trying to get thousands in. These farmers, these basically Amish farmers, you know, same groups you see as Amish, it was same groups that created the Amish, went there 400 years ago. To South Africa to flee persecution in Europe because they were Protestants. And they've been demonizing them as, you know, baby Hitlers or something. And he said, well, those are our rallies, but that's our free speech, but we don't actually do that. Well, now there's video of him saying, last year, we're going to take their land and not give them compensation. I don't think Trump even knew about that. I hadn't seen this clip. So, and there's hundreds of them. So the more people look into this, the more we find out. And to have the corporate media, NBC and others, nobody's died. You're making it up. Just like we see in Europe and here, the black on white crime, the Islamic crime, it's all covered up. The grooming gangs, thousands of little girls per town kidnapped, all come out. Keir Starmer covered that up 15 years as the head minister over the CPS in England, the UK. This is a policy of covering up. Hell, the last 4 years, the FBI wouldn't release crime statistics because they were covering up. The left's hyping up the war that white people are bad, so it's open season. The Black Panther Party, the new leader, you know, of the new Black Panther Party saying, don't rob in your own black area, go rob the white people. So here's a clip. CNN claims videos of South African leaders saying kill the white farmers doesn't actually mean kill the farmers. Here it is.
Explaining that this is not true. What the videos show is Julius Malema, the far left opposition leader of South Africa. His party is called the Economic Freedom Fighters, and it also showed former President Jacob Zuma. What Julius Malema was singing, "Kill the Boer, Kill the Farmer," was an anti-apartheid song from the struggle against white minority rule in South Africa. They've explained that this is not a literal attack, call to attack and kill the farmer because of the historical nature of that. But it's been weaponized by groups in South Africa and increasingly by the MAGA right in the United States to essentially misrepresent what is going on in the country, Boris, Brianna.
Also of note, Larry, can you...
So, yeah, nobody's targeting whites. Nobody's killing whites in Europe. Nobody, no, it's open season. 60% of the rapes in Europe are about 10% of the population, the Muslims. It's open season. Again, in most Islamic countries, if a woman isn't wearing a beekeeper suit and out in public, she's free game to be raped. And if she complains, she gets executed. Look what happened to Laura Logan. She's out reporting in Cairo. She's a good-looking woman. They rape the living hell out of her. I mean, that's what they do. Oh, no, no, no. They're little angels. White people are devils. Trump shows evidence of white genocide to South African president publicly humiliating the gaslighter in front of the world. Incredible. This is what Trump needs to do, these fireside chats. Well, here's Ramaphosa last year at one of these stadiums. They're saying kill the white people. The ultra anti-white president, Ramaphosa, calling for land to be taken from white South Africans without compensation. Yesterday, Trump exposed this liar for what he really is in front of the world. More of that is needed. Trump is hosting his own InfoWar and handing him a stack of articles. It's all an InfoWar, and we're just living in it. Here he is, caught red-handed lying.
The land of our forefathers and our foremothers must return to our people without any fail and without any payment of compensation. And it must happen now.
Now, this next clip I'm going to play, they've added some, you know, Benny Hill music to, but this is just shot from somebody's iPhone of the South African racist, anti-white, genocidal supporters watching their own party and other parties saying kill the whites, take their land. As you just heard the president sitting there with Trump. I wish Trump would have had that clip. I didn't see it until this morning when I got up at 5 a.m. Oh, really, Mr. President? Well, here you are saying take it without compensation. No, Mr. President, we don't take it without compensation. Oh, really? Here you are, last year. Here's the clip.
We are starting with this whiteness. We are cutting the throat of whiteness.
Beats the Afrikaner. And then you got the president pointing at Elon Musk and pointing at some of the other South Africans that are in Trump's administration. He goes, they would not be here. They know there's no killing. And so they go to one of them and he goes, actually, they tried to kill my family, almost beat my grandmother to death and killed a bunch of the farmers we knew. And it's just a constant war. We have electrified fences and it's total hell on earth. That's why we left South Africa, but I've still got family there. They tried to kill them last week.
Oh, yes. No, we like you, white person. I just say take your land, no compensation. And last week I put out reports saying we will not let you flee. We will exact our revenge. Kill the whitey. Kill him now. Kill. We do not mean that. I like you. Yeah. Here is a book on
calculating.
Yep.
The length. Damn, that's actually the correct length already.
Come there, we slit your white pig throat too. We'll be right back with hour number 2. More massive news straight ahead. Share the live feed now, Real Alex Jones.
Despite 9 years of intense deep state globalist lawfare and attacks, criminal investigations, audits, harassment, mass censorship, deplatforming, you name it, InfoWars is still on the air thanks to your support, your word of mouth, and your prayer, despite everything they've done. And we have survived over and over again in court. There's a critical hearing coming up where we could be shut down next month. But it's been your support and the products you bought from us that have allowed us to be able to have the legal defense that's had us hang on this long. So the system has been discredited. They've been caught running fake fraudulent auctions that got shut down. They've been caught ordering us closed without Justice Department, without court orders. It's totally blown up in their face. And we've built the backup Alex Jones Network thanks to your support as well. But there's a good chance InfoWars could actually survive because of all the corruption and just outright, in my view, criminal activity that's been discovered that we've now filed in federal court. But if we don't continue to get support at InfoWarsStore.com, we won't have the funds to continue on. And we're almost sold out of our best-selling products there, but there's enough to keep operating on for a few months. So hopefully we win this. We can reorder the products and continue on. I'm not sure what's going to happen, but this is a real war of attrition. So when you go to InfoWarsStore.com, it gets shipped right out to you, and it keeps us on the air, and it's for our legal defense, and you get incredible products. When I say incredible, X2, the strongest, best atomic iodine, meaning it's not radioactive, it's on the atomic chart as pure iodine. Nobody else has that. It's so good for every cell in your body. It's essential. We have other amazing products like Ultra 12, medical grade, vitamin B12 taken out of the tongue. Fabulous things it does for your body. So many other great products as well. Vaso Beats, really good for your heart, cardiovascular system. Brain Force Ultra, very fast acting, very clean, no letdown.
And Hillary Clinton. Just otherwise.
Out now. Ron Johnson, Biden buried crucial facts about the COVID vaccines, betrayed the health of our young people. Now this, FDA to limit COVID-19 boosters to older people and high-risk individuals. Told you months ago Kenny was to do that. Next they'll ban it in old folks, but they're doing it in pieces. But that's a big deal. But here is why Steve's joining us. He'll respond to the Senate report as well. A novel, simple, all-cause mortality analysis method clearly shows COVID vaccine killed and did not save. And we've got his huge report with the studies, the documents, the numbers. We have these from government statistics, you name it. And now, of course, we know Pfizer and others hid this information. Meanwhile, we have the newly signed WHO pandemic agreement institutes a global medical dictatorship. Trump has just left the WHO. So these are the big issues. And the bad guys, from Fauci to Hotez to Tedros to Borla, say another imminent deadly plague's coming, but don't worry, they'll save you. Bill Gates says, oh, cutting the USAID money and other money, funding Bill Gates, controlling the medical systems of the world, developing all these concoctions. They don't know what it does. He said we just shoot it right in the veins. The FDA board, we don't know what's going to do. You got to just give it to kids, but it's safe and effective. He said Elon Musk is going to kill poor people. And Elon Musk said, you're the one that's killing all the kids, and you're the one hanging out with Jeffrey Epstein. I wouldn't let you babysit my kids. So it's an amazing day, to be here. The dam is completely broken, in my view. We'll get Steve Kirsch. Is a philanthropist, a real one, executive director of the COVID-19 Early Treatment Fund and also the Vaccine Safety Research Foundation. He is the inventor of the optical mouse. It just goes on and on. SteveKirsch.substack.com. ST Kirsch on X. Steve, wow, I'm going to try to shut up for the 23 minutes we have left. You can start wherever you want. The Senate report, saying don't give the shot, basically banning it unless you're 65. All these other developments, this new giant compendium you put together. I mean, it's coming to a head, isn't it?
It is. And there's almost the rhythm.
And they want what's happening with Russia and Ukraine, just like what we see happening.
Something. But no one.
Quite frankly, I didn't develop Optimal Human when Bigley came on as a big sponsor.
The silent need to learn about gay sex. And we're just
even reoccurs when those and humility.
Now you'll have an option. You can buy that can't be seen in.
Who's talking like my staff?
Organic, just a. Police did not name the arrested party. They do have a name here. We won't say that until we have an official report. But the individual that they arrested has already been released. And then others are claiming that the governor's office is making a power play to drop the charges. Do you understand what is going on here, folks? Why do they want an MS-13 gang member back in the country? Why did they set up bail funds for the Black Lives Matter rioters in 2020, including ones that were attacking police officers? Why would the governor's office in Minnesota try to make sure that an individual who had been arrested with what the Trump administration is considering a terrorist attack, which it is, why would they be having him released from jail? Well, the Democrats are at it again. They can't help themselves. I wouldn't be surprised if you don't have more of these Democrats flying down to El Salvador. By the way, flying down there, causing climate change with the carbon emissions. I mean, come on. You have AOC and Bernie Sanders flying around the country on private jets for their events. How much carbon is being emitted with every Bernie Sanders AOC event? That's a lot of carbon. That's more than you will emit. Seems a bit hypocritical, but these are Democrats. they really view themselves as more important than you. That's really what they believe. So they should have the right to fly around. Al Gore's even said it. By the way, he was back in the news today. Al Gore, so original, guys. Al Gore compares Trump administration to Nazi Germany. Wow. Where does he come up with this stuff? I've never heard that one before. Somebody stop me. Has anybody ever heard that before? Trump is a Nazi? Wow. Al Gore. Man, you are really original. It's so ridiculous. I wonder if Trump is almost doing it intentionally. I don't think that's the case, but this is by far the most pro-Israel administration maybe in American history. I mean, certainly modern American history. So isn't it, it's insane. You have a big portion of the right that thinks this administration is too pro-Israel and is doing too much to address issues of Jewish Americans or Israeli Jews. It's a talking point all day long. And, I mean, Trump he works with Jews every day. Some of his biggest advisors, some of his best advisors are Jewish. Howard Lutnick, Stephen Miller. And then you have Al Gore saying he's a Nazi. Anyway. No, the Democrats, though, 5 of them are now in El Salvador. Did they take a rowboat?
This isn't even 2 + 2 = 4. Unless you've been hiding under a rock, everyone knows that Shilajee is one of the most incredible super... Up him. I mean, if you've got a private talking like that, they get kicked out of the military with dishonorable discharge, but they don't have real power. When you have the leadership in the most secret area where they do the most secret war planning a war against our populist elected president, that they obviously, the same people are involved in the same system that tried to kill Trump twice last year. So now James O'Keefe again gets Pentagon branch chief over DOD security and finances, sitting back saying we're going to get rid of Hegseth, we're sabotaging him, we're sabotaging Trump, we're going to stop him, we're going to stop Trump, we're the resistance, we're going to resist him. And now the Pentagon has responded and said we are investigating. Investigating what? Your head of security? Your boss? Remember when it comes out every few years that, oh, half the computers at the Pentagon have child porn on them. They're not in there on average watching child porn. The leadership's been caught. National Office of Intelligence, Director of National Intelligence, they've released those chat files and how they use the DEI system as their cult to then report back to the civilian side of who gets persecuted, who gets fired, who gets demoted, who gets removed. Oh, yeah, the leadership's in there doing it. No, they plant it on people's computers, and it would come out of the security office that has access to them all. That's who would do the planning. I'm not saying Nicholas Terzo was ever involved in something like that. I'm just saying, I've talked for many years about this. That's how they compromise. People go, well, it's okay, we found child porn. Well, it's not mine. Well, it's okay. We're going to work with you. We're going to cover this up. See, now you start to understand all this. Oh, and Jamie Menina, how do you get in trouble the first time? Oh, 3 years ago, caught up in a pedo sting in D.C. Oh, I mean, yeah. So, it's a club. I mean, I'm not saying Nicholas Terzo, the Pentagon security chief, would ever be involved in any deep state activity. And I'm sure Jamie Menina just went to have sex with that 12-year-old girl, or just to meet her, to maybe paint her fingernails, toenails. We have the video of all that, of course. So, yeah, it's a club. And so the big question before we play this new video, new information is, Has Hegseth gone into all these documents and gone in and gotten the documents about the war games against President Trump and now him? Because he's carrying out Trump's orders, doing a great job. You see the huge war against Hegseth? Because if they can take him out, they can take out anybody that's loyal to Trump and all the agencies. So we got to back Hegseth, who's doing a great job. But is that going on? Is that happening? Because this all came out in mid-January. January, February, March, April. So 3 months ago, plus. And it's just, oh, a coup plot. Oh, a resistance plot with the top leadership. Oh, well, they fired the guy that got caught on tape talking about it, who was the liaison manager and doing the briefings from the civilian side of what they wanted done to Trump. Boy, I'd like to get that briefing. Boy, Trump better have seen that briefing. Boy, Hegseth better have had that briefing the day Trump got sworn in on January 20th. You think they did that? And I get Hegseth and Bondi and all of them need to be in the information war and need to be on TV. That's important. But until they go get the coup plans and then put them on TV, there doesn't need to be any TV interviews. So there's an ongoing live coup in the bureaucracy and the teeth of the bureaucracy. The biggest teeth are what? The Pentagon, the military. What always is behind coups in history? The military. What's the one thing you better have control of? The military, the intelligence agencies, the secret police, the FBI. And Trump's got partial control of the FBI, partial control of the DOJ. He is moving quickly. There's a lot to do. But the fact that we didn't see all these Pentagon documents, you know, the left leaks, Trump doesn't have to leak. He can order his Secretary of Defense or the head of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, to release to the public, just like they did Crossfire Hurricane, all this other stuff the last few weeks. Oh, here's the briefing documents and the minutes of the top secret meeting about how to resist the incoming Trump administration, how to have a coup. I'm surprised they even use words like block and frustrate and stop and resist, because that's treason. But can you imagine what was really talked about? So I just am very frustrated that if you study history, warfare, geopolitical systems, internal intrigue, intelligence, coups, counter-coups, revolutions, counter-revolutions, different types of systems, the 101 thing you do is you go in and you purge the bad guys out of the military. And the list of people to purge is the people caught thanks to intrepid investigation groups led by the heroic James O'Keefe. So James O'Keefe perfectly keeps throwing the ball in 50-yard passes perfectly into the Trump administration's hands. And the ball hits the wide receiver in the chest. He does, and just bounces off. And the wide receiver's sitting there with their thumb up their ass. And James O'Keefe throws the ball again. Boing, risking his life, being arrested. His crew having people come after him. Believe me, it's not fun. I know some of the stuff he's gone through. I've gone through it too. And he just keeps throwing the ball every time. Perfect shot. Nothing. Bounces off. So if Trump doesn't want to get his head blown off or his helicopter blown up or his Air Force One blown out of the air and blamed on Iran, if the American people don't want to have a military coup in this country by the deep state, we better light a fire under the Trump administration's butt. And that means I got to light a fire under your butt. Because We're here throwing the ball right into Trump's arms. And I know he's doing a lot and doing a great job on many fronts, but this is absolutely imperative number one. Well, it sounds crazy to release documents of a coup plan. I mean, that'll really shake up the Pentagon. Well, yeah, and if they'd have shot Trump in the head 1 inch over, where would we be right now? In a civil war? Probably a nuclear war with Russia. I mean, the level of danger that we are dealing with here is simply stratospheric. And the reason they wanted me off and tried to close this building without a court order, and we stood up to it in May of last year, and I told you they're getting ready to kill Trump. I knew that wasn't about me. It's that the bad guys know I study this. I am an expert and a full spectrum analysis, and you don't even have to be an expert to know this is important. And they're like, get that guy off the air. We don't want him on the air when we get Trump the next time. We don't want Jones on the air laying out the pieces. The top Democrats say they're going to have a civil war. There'll be a big racial event. Migrants will be killed. Obviously, the Border Patrol and Homan and Trump aren't going to do that. The last pieces, they're going to stage it soon. And you see that being lined up. Why am I the only person other than General Flynn that talks about this? I mean, most of the other populist media covers whatever's breaking or whatever's interesting or whatever is, you know, oh, this illegal alien that was let out 3 times by Biden raped and killed a teenage girl. I know it's important to expose it, but you can't spend 90% of your time on that stuff. The big stuff is that you got a Pentagon full of globalists. The average rank and file person in the military is great. But you start getting up to colonels and above, any lieutenant colonel will tell you, you start getting into full colonel and above, they have recruited globalists, they have sent them to special schools, they have followed their orders, they have committed all sorts of crimes, they've done all sorts of evil stuff to prove that they are loyal to the globalist, and they've got blackmail on almost all of them, financial, sexual, or both. And most of the key leadership are pedophiles every time. Every time there's a sting and we find out some dirt, they've been doing to me. They're not doing stings about Alex Jones to find corruption against Alex Jones. They just keep doing underage sex stings. And in those stings, they run into people in the FBI and the CIA targeting me. Why is it over and over again you got all these people caught up in sex stings, in sex sting dragnets? Well, because, I mean, what type of people do you think betray their country and engage in this type of serious espionage and treason? Compromised sickos. What type of government ships in 1 million kids? It's not 350,000. That's who they personally handed over and covered it up. What type of government ships in 350,000 children, many of them in sex slavery and getting killed? Oh, yeah. What type of person? Mayorkas, look at him. My God, he makes your skin crawl. And the book matches, the cover matches what's on the inside. Kamala Harris, all of them. These are bad, 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 evil, 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 evil people. And they got our tax money, trillions of it, funding PR firms, law firms, all these different criminal organizations, attacking America, attacking our children, grooming our children. It's all out in the open, people. It is a satanic pedophile cult, a Satan cult, an evil cult. And, oh, we have the head civilian liaison, project manager of how to resist and stop Trump, and that means his Secretary of Defense, and then we didn't learn who all those generals were? O'Keefe got this a week and a half before Trump was inaugurated. Talk about fresh. Perfectly handed off to Trump administration. That's God using us as vessels, as instruments. So God's trying to help us, but we have to help ourselves. God helps those who help themselves. When God sees you doing the right thing and striving as hard as you can with faith, he will then, in every case in my life, and I see it everywhere, carry you over. Or you think, you learn, oh, it looks like I'm being defeated right now. Nope, that's going to, always amazing stuff happens right after. I have seen the power of God over and over. It is miraculous. It is real. It is everything. We're going to go to break, and I'm going to come back and play the new clip, the new information, go over it all, and then the old clip. It's all processing. And now that they've got the branch chief, civilian branch chief over DOD security, that doesn't just mean guards, you know, the parking lot. That means watching everybody, cybersecurity. That's the key person in place, his group. And you know he's brought in all his people. You know. And you know, I bet you all the oil in Saudi Arabia that Nicholas Terza, back in January, was in these meetings with Jamie Menina and the top generals and top civilians from the Pentagon and retired generals who are advising the civilian side and then going for their coup plots. Smoking gun video. People who are who they say they are running coup operations. And Trump and his people seem to not even know this is going on. So Pete Hegseth, who's an overall very smart, great guy, a lot of great work. I'm not against him being on TV or the media. Oh, they put a makeup room in a TV studio. That's what you do. It's important the Pentagon upgrade its media systems. That's 9+% of war. No makeup here, though. The point is that he needs to spend zero time on the powder room and getting those cheeks all rosy for TV cameras until they have released this information. The president has the power to first vaporize them with it being public and then indict them. Hell, court-martial them. Court-martial those that are commissioned officers. And then you'll start seeing the house of cards fall even faster. We need indictments of Brennan yesterday. We need indictments of Fauci yesterday. We need indictments of Mayorkas, open and shut, yesterday. I want indictments of those top generals. I want them. I demand court-martials immediately. Open and shut for treason. You think Trump's this big, dangerous tyrant? You're the ones, the tyrants. You're the ones doing seriously illegal stuff. And we'll go nice on you. We won't give you the full turning into victim. That's for not being nice. You don't get the death penalty for treason, which is what it is. No, you get supermax prison. Million all of them. I want them in Colorado in solitary confinement now. Arrest them. Put them in Leavenworth. It's been a major news story for months that in the last 8.5 months, I've lost 63 pounds and gained muscle. And people ask, how have I done it? Intermittent fasting, better diet, and taking the right supplements. Release all the information, haul them in, get the whistleblowers, put it all out. The president has that power to declassify whatever he wants, when he wants, destroy them. And Kash Patel, Trump said do it. They released the Crossfire Hurricane. Devastating. Now we need the indictments for treason. But on the military side, it's easier. It's military uniform law. And when you're saying I'm going to secretly resist my commander-in-chief and I'm going to leak information criminally, we're going to block him and we're going to plot what we're going to do if he does something illegal, that's the cover for the coup, the physical coup. Totally illegal, but that's their little justification. Like he's Hitler and it's Operation Valkyrie. And it's open and shut military prison. Leavenworth. And then when the minions of the system see their bosses in orange jumpsuits, it will be like the sun rising to vampires. Game over. So, and these are all horribly unsavory people. All of them are involved in corruption. All of them are involved in horrible behaviors because they don't select people to join the satanic New World Order crime syndicate unless you're really, really, really nasty. What, you think it's just MS-13 and TDA that make people kill little kids to be in the gang? They want total dirt on you, and they want to know you have no soul, and they want to know you like it. They don't even trust you if you don't like killing kids. It's not just you're willing to kill kids, you gotta like it. And if you like it, well, you're in the club. And it's this sick cult that's doing all the open, evil, outrageous crap that you see. The poison in your food, brainwashing your kids secretly into their pedo cult, their trans cult, all of it. The open borders, the human